What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 2 of The Goods. For episode number 2, I have another really great friend of mine, Michael Kurti, from Flemington, New Jersey, pretty close to Philadelphia, about an hour north. What's up, Michael?
How's it going, man?
Good. Thanks for having me. I came through last night and
Yeah.
I heard the little giggle in your voice. You can see I fell asleep eating an ice cream sandwich, and this is supposed to be like a one night thing, so I was like, I can rock with the same pair of clothes overnight, like it'll be okay. I'm rolling up to my car last night, just skating down the street, making sure I got the lights in my car. Fall down on my skateboard, totally skinned my knee, tear my pants open. It's fine, it's okay.
Didn't see that, man. Life
hands you L's. It's up to you whether or not you make them capital or lowercase, Lowercase, they'll go away quicker, but if it's a capital L, motherfucker's gonna stick around. It's gonna hurt. So I let it go. Wasn't a big deal. Drive up here, everything's okay. Then my Domino's got messed up. I got here, I ordered some trash pizza, which you already feel some type of way about because you're eating trash pizza. Then they messed up and delivered it to the wrong person, and I went to pick it up to save money on the delivery cost. And then I get here, and then Michael very kindly offers me an ice cream sandwich. I open up the freezer. Wow, it's a Neapolitan ice cream sandwich. Is it banana flavored ice cream on one end?
No, it's vanilla chocolate, and strawberry.
Vanilla chocolate, strawberry.
Yeah.
I swear it was banana. But...
Nice trifecta.
Yeah, vanilla chocolate, strawberry. Nice little Neapolitan action. Is that how you say it? Neapolitan, right?
Yeah.
Nice little Neapolitan action going on. Curates this lovely experience for me. I fall asleep with the ice cream sandwich. It gets all over me. It's on my hat right now. It's on my shirt. It's all over my pants.
Oh, that happens.
Kurti said, you remember?
I was saying, Maider went viral with stains all over his pants.
Yeah. Where was that? Bleacher Report?
That was Bleacher Report and World Star too.
And World Star.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of low-key heated. Maider got a World Star feature before I did.
It's wild.
It is very wild. But anyway, welcome to episode 2 of The Goods, covered in Neapolitan ice cream with Michael Kurti, Tyler Severance. Again, we're in Flemington, New Jersey, Michael's hometown. It's 1 p.m. on Saturday. Saturday, September 7th. We got some mimosas because it's brunch vibes with the boys. The boys and the ladies. Or whatever you identify.
The spinners.
The spinners? Is that what you said?
Oh, YoYos.
Oh, yeah, the spinners.
The spinners.
The ladies, the boys, the spinners. The jokers, the smokers.
I don't know what you thought I meant.
No, the spinners, I just didn't really think about it. Yeah, you're right. So, Michael, growing up in Flemington, how was that? Because you've been here for, a while, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up actually, 15, 20 minutes away from here.
Yeah, so maybe not Flemington, but close by.
Yeah, close by. It was just, a more, farmland kind of area, I guess. This is, the closest...
Corn?
Oh, tons of corn, yeah.
Are you a Jersey tomato guy? Do you like Jersey tomatoes?
I don't like tomatoes.
At all?
No.
No salsa?
Maybe a little salsa.
Salsa, but not tomatoes. No, I don't really like raw tomatoes either, so...
Yeah.
I feel you. But, okay, Flemington,
But
New
Flemington,
Jersey.
Yeah, I've been here... Yeah, it's been around, and it's it's alright.
Whole life.
Yeah, pretty much.
Word. Your mom lives here, too.
Yeah.
And then your dad lives here, But when you started yo-yoing, we'll get to this in a minute, about how you went to Yo-Yo Joe's. Did you start yo-yoing with people in Flemington, or, how did that start?
Oh, no, I had nobody to yo-yo with for a while.
Never?
I mean, of course, yeah.
That's that happened to
normal.
me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's normal. It is normal now.
Yeah.
So, how did you discover yo-yoing then?
It was just through some classmates. So I guess I did have some yo-yoers at first.
So it's not like someone came to your school, though. It was just
No, it was just one kid in class brought in. I think it was Super Yo something.
So they got it from a school show, probably.
I don't...
Because that's what the Ned show sells, is Super Yo-Yos.
Maybe, but I mean, he went to the same school as me.
Oh, okay. Well,
but, he had this thing, man.
Okay.
And,
he had this thing.
What
was it? Do you remember? Triple play? Or?
I don't remember, honestly. I wish I did.
No, it's all good.
But, yeah, it was just, up and down, around the world, and then...
How would you, latch on real quick? You could instantly throw it up and down, or...
Yeah, I guess.
Were you a drop and cat with it?
I mean, at first I wasn't the best at it, honestly.
Yeah, no one is. Like, it took me forever to learn stuff. Because at first you're so content with just, like, the sensory experience of, like, throwing it down and, like, oh, man, it's, like, vibrating up through my arm. And you're like, whoa, like, this is cool.
It always hurt when it came back, like, at first and stuff. Yeah.
Did you ever throw it and let it swing between your legs and then come back out and do tricks?
Probably.
So
I was probably trying to do dog bite, though.
Yeah, your pants could do that.
Oh, I never learned dog bite. No.
Never? Still not a dog bite guy? You gotta learn it, man. I'll teach it to you.
I know.
I can do dog bite if I'm wearing a baggy enough t-shirt on each side of my, like, lunch lady flaps.
I think that's the key, man.
Yeah, I'll do 2A dog bite and then throw out in a tangler.
Yeah.
It's pretty tight, but... So you wanted to learn dog bite, but you never learned dog bite. You were yo-yoing on a super yo-yo.
Yeah. You didn't learn seasick for a long time, right?
No, gosh. 2012 maybe?
Yeah. That's a long time for not learning seasick, yeah.
No, I wasn't saying it like...
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I'm bringing everything up, Kurti. Shit, man. Okay.
No.
So, what happened next? Like, how long were you doing that for? Did you, like, instantly, you were like, yo, this is tight, I'm gonna get a better yo-yo, I need my own yo-yo?
I mean, I think what happened was there was, like, some break. It was either winter break or spring break, and... Yeah, everyone came back and stopped yo-yoing, and I was like, I'm gonna get really good and be better than everyone.
Spring break?
Yeah, it was either winter break or I think it was spring break.
Do you remember what school year it was?
6th grade for me. Grade. Yeah.
So what year is this? Like 2007?
2008, I
2008.
think. Yeah. And then I came back and everyone quit. And
everyone quit.
Like,
it's crazy how stuff works like that.
That's
when
how
you're
it
a
goes.
kid.
Yeah.
Like, it just is one elapsed vacation. Like, over the summer, everyone comes back and it's like everyone will be skating and then everyone's like, oh, I'm not doing that anymore. And you'll be the one to be like, oh, I was doing that all summer, man.
Yeah.
Shit. Like,
yeah, exactly. That was
like, I got kind of good.
That was me with yo-yos.
That's sick, though.
Yeah.
Did you buy a yo-yo at that point?
For sure. That was the Dark Magic.
So when did you buy a Dark Magic? How long was it when you were playing with the Super Yo with the homies? And you said it was like a girl that brought it in?
No, it was a dude.
Oh, dude, okay.
But, yeah, it was probably, I don't know, just that summer. I think it was like the spring break I came back. I was still playing with, like, you know,
so, like,
not the best
fifth grade, y'all were playing with it.
Yeah.
6th grade, like, summer between 5th and 6th grade, you get a real yo-yo. And you're, like, toying around with it during 6th grade. Does that sound
It was more like 6th and 7th, but yeah.
Okay, alright.
Yeah.
Not super important, but that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, like, you just one 2-week period, or not 2 weeks, spring break is like 10 days. Or
yeah.
But you, like, looked up tutorials online?
Went hard, and then,
What did you do to go hard? Because going hard now is way different than when you
I learned
first
Brain
started.
Twister, Tyler.
What else did you... No, that's sick.
No, honestly, that was it.
That's huge.
That was going hard for me back then. You know? That was the going hard of the 6th grade grind.
Over the course of 1 week.
Right.
Yeah.
Something
but
like that.
You're alone, too? Like,
yeah.
It's like when people yo-yo in groups, it gets you amped and hyped to, like, learn more and, like...
Yeah, I might have learned Split the Atom, too, or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You learned a couple tricks over spring break.
It was, like, honestly, at first, it was cool because everyone was kind of competing at first and trying to get good.
At school? Yeah. So that kind of, like, motivated you. Like you said, you're like, I'm gonna go home on spring break and, like, go hard in the paint for a week and then come back and then outshine everyone. That's so tight. That's so tight.
Yeah.
I love when people get into yo-yoing for kind of... Most people just get into it and they're like, oh, this looks fun. But I love when people, like, make that jump and they're like, I'm kind of, like, in a little competition with these people around me in a way. Even though we're not, it's like you're a kid, so you naturally want to be the best. And, like, it's cool. Because, like, yo-yo players, I don't think ever admit that they want to be the best, you know? It's kind of like a thing where it's like they're comfortable with just being who they are, which is great. But like, it's cool when people are like comfortable and confident enough to be like, yo, I want to be the best at this. And even though you realize eventually, like, it's an artistic endeavor, so being the best is kind of irrelevant or almost impossible because everyone has their own favorites. And even your favorites are like, you have more of a top 5 or a top 10 at any given time. And it's like maybe like 1 or 2 all-time favorites. It's not like you have a whole, like, your top 10 is like top 10 forever, because people I liked when I was first started yo-yoing are not people I still like them now, but it's like for different reasons, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So you go super hard over spring break, you catch on, you probably know like 10 tricks at this point, like walk the dog, rock the baby, but then you learn some more some techier stuff.
It wasn't until summer break. Yeah, it wasn't until summer break
after spring break.
Yeah, after spring break started back up, there was like a few people yo-yoing, but I was like the yo-yo guy more so at that point.
And you were instantly the yo-yo guy at school?
Yeah, even though I was only doing like split the atom and stuff.
Well, yeah, but kids are impressed with anything.
Right.
And they can kind of see what's going on. Like, our favorite yo-yo tricks are ones that emphasize people's style the most. And those take the most finesse. Like, it looks like a sleight of hand magic trick almost when people perform their best tricks really well, you know?
Yeah.
Like, imagine when Zach does tension hook.
Those make the best tricks, for sure, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, kids like the simplest tricks easy, but like they can't understand these like crazy sleight of hand tricks. So when you're first starting out, it's like, oh, I see brain twister, it looks like I could do that, like but I can't, like it's out of my reach, like that's super tight, like I'm down.
Yeah, and that was like the talk of the class, brain twister. It was like the pinnacle of man, the good yo-yo trick.
Which is funny because now kids will probably like, I teach kids brain twister in a gym period sometimes if they're good enough. There'll be like one or two kids who like excel really well.
That's just so great to hear. Yeah,
you could do it though. Anyone could teach someone brain twister in an hour.
No, you're right.
An hour yo-yoing.
You're right. Yo-yos are definitely better now too, though.
Exactly. Yeah. And like, not that the dark magic was bad, but it's just like, especially with the hybrid response system, like if you get like a blank slate yo-yo, like you get any yo-yo with like a centering bearing in it and like it's unresponsive, you have a solid minute. If you just drop it. Minute to make it work.
You gotta figure it out.
Versus on a responsive dark magic, you got like 30 seconds, and then you're like, you mess it up, and you're like, all right, let me get it back at this again. Mess it up. All right, shit. Especially when you're alone. Like when I'm teaching kids in PE class, I'll roll the yo-yo up for them just to kind of get them going again.
Yeah, because you don't want to kill it. You know, you don't want them to just think it's not fun.
So then over summer, so you said this is the summer between 6th and 7th grade. What tricks did you learn then?
I probably learned like Double or Nothing, like McBride roller coaster.
All the basics. That's sick though, yeah. Do you remember kind of learning all those?
Yeah, for sure. It was like just learning how to kind of string combos together, you know?
You were like taking note of that early on? Like, I want to piece these together. I want to try to do all of them not sequentially, back to back.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because kids now, when they look at a yo-yo trick, it's like a hurdle. So, like, you get over it that one time, and it's like, sick, I did it, I accomplished this, and they catch it, and it's good.
Yeah.
Or, like, they mess it up, and then they think they have to stop the yo-yo and rewind it, and it's like, nah, the yo-yo spins. It's, like, ongoing, so you can do whatever you want while the yo-yo's spinning. So that's tight that you were taking note of that.
Oh, yeah,
super early on.
Yeah, I feel like that's like honestly, it's like transitions in general is what makes a lot of good yo-yo tricks.
Oh yeah,
so
that's my favorite part of watching people. Like, and why I think that people love binds so much and stuff like that, because everyone has, even when they do a regular bind, they have their own little style to it. And it's like, you can. That's how you learn to make your own style, or not learn it. That's how you develop your own style, is trying to emulate other people. So like, I don't know. So you learned like a bunch of other tricks, then going into 7th grade, so you're like 12 at this point, 12 years old maybe?
I think so. Yeah, 12.
Did you get a couple more yo-yos at that point?
Yeah, I got an Aldi L3.
That's interesting. So your second yo-yo was like a Chinese metal, not your second yo-yo maybe.
Yeah. It was,
like one of your more serious.
It was my first full metal yo-yo.
That's
and
sick.
I wanted it really badly just because I watched Luo Yi Cheng's 4th place at Worlds 2008.
Dude, that was a sick freestyle.
Oh, it was so cool.
When he does all the suicides and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, you should leave the link for that in the description, Tyler.
I will. Thanks for the reminder. When Jake is on next, when I'm interviewing Jake very soon, Jake has the craziest Luo Yi Cheng story, because he stayed with Luo Yi Cheng that year at Worlds 2008, yeah. And it's funny. I don't know if he's going to tell it or not. Does he yo-yo anymore, Luo Yi Cheng?
I haven't seen him yo-yo in a long time.
Okay, so we're definitely going to tell it then. It's a wild story, but oh my god. Jake's episode is going to be awesome. I'm not going to divulge too much, but anyway. So, okay, you watched that. It was a sick freestyle, though. He did all the chopsticks. He did hella green triangle suicides, right?
Yeah.
But was he the first person to do inverted ones, right? Like the opposite direction?
First person I saw.
Me too.
Yeah, it was really crazy with those suicides.
Yeah. And that was like right when Ninja Vanish and stuff was becoming like a regular trick.
Right.
But it was still hard to do in a freestyle, and he had like every variation, right?
Yeah. He would always usually end up dropping one of them, though.
Yeah. And then you gotta switch out. But that was before switch outs were...
they weren't that big of a penalty.
It was normalized in your score, so it ended up being like... I don't even know what it would normalize down to, but like very insignificant.
It was just -3 on the clickers, right?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It gets normalized. Then that just gets entered into the spreadsheet. So basically, now when you get a knot in a freestyle and you have to switch out yo-yos or you have to roll your yo-yo back up, you get a negative. Is it -1 and -2 off your final score, right?
-2, I think, for restart.
Yeah. It's always so judges do it differently because technically, if you get a knot, it's a loss of control or you messed up the trick somehow in order to get this knot. So that should be -1 automatically. That's how they used to do it back in the day. You get a -1 for that. But then you get a -2 for the switch out also. So it'd be a total of a -3. But then some judges would give them a -2. Now it's just -2 off your normalized score, right?
Yeah, it's like a major deduct. Yeah.
Major deduct. Yeah. So say you kill it. You're Gentry. You're at the very end, what is it, like, say 94? Is that like that's a pretty high score, yeah?
Yeah,
like
it's a pretty high score.
Yeah, it's a very high score. I think you got like a 92 or something this year. Around 92 and some change.
Something like
Gentry,
that, I think.
Or excuse me, Evan was also 92 and some change.
Yeah,
but imagine you get a 94. You beat second place by less than a point this year at Worlds, but you had one major deduct. You got a knot and you had to switch out yo-yos, and then you're down to a 92 and some change now. Like, 92.45. Yeah. You're in like 4th or 5th place then, probably, or even lower. You just went from world champion to not world champion.
That was after 2011 with Marcus. They changed that.
Yeah, Sebastian. The Sebastian debacle. I'll have to get Sebi on the podcast one time. And
that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would be a funny story. So you saw the freestyle. You thought that was tight.
Yes.
I was at that World. It was super tight, but like Ando blew it away that year. John Ando.
Oh yeah, he was incredible.
Like,
so
what did you think about that freestyle that year?
Interesting, because the L3 was my first metal yo-yo, which actually we had to get it shipped to St. Martin first because it was like illegal to ship into the U.S. at the time.
What? Why?
Pretty crazy. I don't. It was just like some shipping regulation.
It was
like
from China, yeah.
It was the only place to get it was like a retailer in the United Kingdom, I think.
Okay.
So that was why it was like that yo-yo couldn't. It was like one of the only ones they couldn't ship to the U.S.
It's weird. But sometimes those services use like a third-party shipping service, so it might have been like rerouted or something.
Right.
But if it was illegal, that's crazy. We should look that up.
No, that was a birthday present. My dad figured it out, which was cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
PK, shout out Papa Kurtz.
Yeah.
We'll link his Facebook in the description. So he got you. It's L3, right? It was like half orange, half green.
Yeah, exactly.
With like the weird engraving on it with the hub stacks.
Right.
You probably love that thing, especially your second yo-yo and like
destroyed it. Yeah.
Destroyed it.
But then my next metal yo-yo was the Superstar, from John
That's
Ando.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was your maybe not third metal yo-yo, third like serious yo-yo, Dark Magic L3 Superstar. Yep.
Exactly.
So that was like 2007 or 2008. You got that?
Yeah,
Christmas
like
or birthday or
to 2009 or in that time. Yeah.
Okay, around then.
Yeah. I think I just saved up for the Superstar. I bought it myself. Yeah.
The 120 bones, right?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That was great. That's great. Yeah.
What did you do to get money to get that? Was allowance or some shit?
It was, I was thinking I just mowed the lawn at my grandparents' house.
Oh, word. Yeah. hella lawn mows.
Yeah.
But that's like important to talk about because it's like, I feel like a lot of kids' parents just cop them whatever, you know what I mean? But if you really want something and it's like, damn, I really want that. Yeah. And eventually your parents probably were giving you money and buying stuff for you, but it's like, you wanted that so bad that it was like, all right, I'm going to get that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to mow the lawn so many times that I can buy this.
It was like back when yo-yos, they were still kind of like, is this really like $120 for a yo-yo?
Because the L3 is like 50 or 60 bucks maybe.
Yeah, it was a little cheaper, I think.
Which is still a lot, but not like an inordinate amount. It's not like you'd go crazy being like, if your kid wants something that's $50 versus 3 times that.
Yeah, they were still like, they just didn't understand yo-yos at the time. Yeah.
So hard convincing,
But then some more yo-yos afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, and then when you're like learning all these tricks, I think when parents go to the first yo-yo contest and they see all the other people and they see how awesome the community is, and you can move this over to the side. You can reach over, man. It's totally okay. Yeah, I think that's important for parents because like, you have some other photos that I'll include in the video of like your like parents hanging out with other yo-yo parents, and like my parents only came to a few contests, but every time they did, it would be like all the other parents loved them, and like they didn't really know how to react because I was such a not a standoffish kid, but I wasn't trying to interact with other normal kids like that. Like in yo-yoing, that was my thing, so I could interact with y'all. And like your parents were super nice. Like anytime they saw me when I was younger and like you were first getting to yo-yoing, we would chat for a bit and like especially because I was like with Yo-Yo Factory, so I was like
for sure
more of a pillar than I am now, I guess you could say, or whatever, or personality. But yeah, I think that's super cool to bring parents to contests. And like, do you remember kind of like when your parents made that? You said after a few yo-yos later, but like
they were super supportive. It was like probably my dad was the one that brought me to like. Well, no, it was actually my my stepmom that brought me to this contest. That was the first contest I went to.
Okay, so this is 2009.
This is 2009, International YoYo Open 2009.
And you started yo-yoing in 2008, kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is the following summer.
Yeah.
So you're like kind of good here, or like you had a Superstar, a couple metal yo-yos.
Yeah, I had no idea. Superstar was the only yo-yo I had, I think, and the Dark Magic.
Was this out at the time?
The cards? They were very new, I think.
Okay. 2010. All right.
Yeah.
It's like your mom or something made this for you the next year, your stepmom.
Yeah.
That's so sweet of her.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But it was in New York, and it was like, it's like an hour train ride.
That's amazing.
So I had no idea about any contests.
This is a rare photo of Andre without frosted tips.
Seriously, man. It's like, a real throwback Andre picture.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I was in Phoenix for this, so I did not go to this contest.
Yeah, I started going to Yo-Yo Joe's Yo-Yo Club, right when you moved to Phoenix.
Right when I moved to Phoenix?
Yeah.
When did you go? Do you remember your first one?
It was probably in 2010. Yeah, 2009 maybe.
Okay. I left the summer of 2009, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I love this.
I didn't compete or anything.
Yeah, but like it's still really cool to go see, and especially when parents go. This was probably awesome for whoever took you to see like that. This guy, did you watch the Yo-Yo Expert tutorials on Expert Village or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, I've learned everything from you, Andre.
What did he say?
No, he's like, oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
He signed the Dark Magic cap for me and gave it to me.
Yeah.
And then then they sent away and had some cards signed and stuff.
Oh, they sent these to him and he signed them and returned them even?
I think they sent this picture.
That's awesome.
And then he sent back the cards with the picture.
I wonder if he remembers that. One day when I interview him, I'll have to ask him, but that'd be so funny. When you get so many things over the years, some things you don't really remember, but when certain kids stick out, you really remember, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. So that's interesting. I remember very vividly when I taught Hunter Feuerstein how to yo-yo. He knew how to yo-yo already, but I was just fine-tuning some things for him when he first came to the library
Hunter's
class.
So good.
Yeah, and then his mom reposted the video recently of the first contest where he won, and I don't really remember much of that, but it was just so awesome, and I have a lot of memories with him. So shout out Hunter Feuerstein. Anyway.
Yeah, Hunter's amazing.
Yeah, Hunter's awesome.
He's gotten so good.
Yeah, I really hope he sticks with it because he's going to be world champion in a couple of years.
Yeah.
He's so good. I remember when Colin told me that, I was like, for real? You think he's going to be world champion? He was like, how could he not be? I was like, it's a great fucking point.
Put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So summer of 2008, 2008 was between 6th and 7th grade?
Yeah, I think it might have been 2009 at this point.
All right. And then 2009 rolls around, you go to this contest.
Yeah, this was summer of 2009.
Yeah. And beginning between Christmas and 2008 and this 2009, you're into yo-yos, you're learning hella tricks, you're going hardcore.
Yeah. Yeah, it was mostly in the summer though, for sure.
Okay. Yeah. When you didn't have school and stuff like that.
That was exactly.
And your parents were really pushing you to do well in school, or you were just super focused. Yeah. And definitely. It's that crucial age in middle school where it's they're kind of figuring out all right, you're gonna go to a crazy high school, or you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
Normal parents. My parents didn't fucking do that.
Yeah, my parents didn't do that.
So what was next? What do you remember next after this?
Well, I remember after I came back from summer break, I got back to school, and then everyone who was yo-yoing just a little bit before really quit. Nobody had any interest in it. And I was
how did you feel at that point?
I was like, oh, like shit. Like, it was cool. I was like, I am locked in as the yo-yo guy. Like, I wanted to be the yo-yo guy.
So you were down. You were like,
I was so down.
Because, like, it really depends on where you grow up and who you grow up with. But, like, when I grew up, I did not that I didn't want to be the yo-yo guy, but my friends instantly alienated me. Like, all my skateboard friends, like, this is so whack. Like, why are you doing this? A lot of
people are like that, man.
And I was just so into it because I wanted to learn something new. And, like, when you're hungry and first starting to yo-yo, you learn so much so quickly. And it, like, gives you that dopamine hit in your brain where you get, like, addicted to, like... I remember, like, one day coming home from school and, like, my mom asked me what I was going to do after I finished my homework or whatever. I'm like, I'm working on this yo-yo trick. And she was like... What are you talking about? Like, what do you mean? And I'm like, I'm gonna go online and like, this is the next trick on the trick list at Yo-Yo Club. And she was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
at Mitchell's?
Like, yeah, and she like would take me there, but she didn't know that like I was there learning stuff. Or like, Joe would tell her, but she was like, cool, like awesome, and then would take me home. And then like, she was a nice lady, but she just wasn't like thinking about it at first. Like, oh wow, like he could learn this stuff, and like this is. I don't know. She didn't have any interest in it, which is totally fine. Most parents don't. So
yeah.
So everyone quit. You were totally okay with being the yo-yo guy, though. You loved it.
Totally, yeah.
Because like people probably embraced you, yeah. Like this seems like a open-minded area in a way. Where
some people didn't, but yeah.
No, what did people say that didn't embrace it?
I mean, I don't know. It was just like they were just like, oh, it's stupid or whatever. Like.
What did they say?
Dude, I don't even know, man. I hardly paid attention to it.
Like a weird vibe. That's so sick you didn't pay attention to it.
It really is a blessing, man. I don't know how, but like it all just kind of went over my head.
Because I'm sure like so many people were giving you props for it that it was like, fuck the two people who don't care.
No,
like,
I had friends who thought it was cool for sure.
But it's hard to like ignore, really especially at that age when you're so aware of what... like other people think, you know what I mean? I guess kids nowadays are just a little more so, or maybe I just was, but that's just so sick.
Yeah, but dude,
so a lot of people were supporting you and like
definitely
that was sick. That's awesome, and especially like your parents were into it too. So it's like whenever your parents, like even when you're a kid, and you want to do the opposite of what your parents did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what they're doing for like a living. You're like, I don't want to do anything to do with that. Like I want to do something completely different.
Right.
When they embrace you doing something, it feels good. So it's like, even if you don't acknowledge that when you're a kid, like, it really does. You know what I mean? You don't have to tell them it feels good. They know because it's like, oh, I'm being encouraged. I'm going to try harder because I'm getting rewarded for this in a way, you know?
Yeah.
That's sick. So what happened next? Like, you're yo-yo guy. You're like 12 going on 13 now into 8th grade.
Yeah, I think it was like, 7th grade. I hit PNWR, which was the first contest I competed at. 7th
grade, you went to PNWR.
Yeah, in 2010.
Okay, so you're 11 going on 12 then, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, 11 going on 12.
It was like the later half of the year of 7th grade, you know.
So you go to Seattle.
I went to Seattle.
That's sick that you got to go to a contest like that so early.
Yeah.
What year was that?
Because my dad's a pilot.
Shout out to pilots everywhere. Have you ever had a bad flight on a yo-yo trip?
No, dude, I don't.
Never?
Like, what do you mean?
Like you like crazy turbulence. I was on a flight one time. Thought I was gonna fucking die.
I don't get scared.
I was there with Seth and Clint. Imagine dying with Clint Armstrong. Imagine that's one of the last motherfuckers you see is Clint. Is down the aisle from me looking back.
Scared.
For real, that's exactly how it was. There's two old people next to me. I had a gin and tonic, and they had gin too.
Oh my god.
Dude, it was a gnarly trip. Yeah, we dropped like 1,000 feet in 10 seconds. Like, it was crazy. We basically like free-flawed in the plane, yeah. The masks didn't drop down and shit, but like, it was gnarly. Nothing like that's ever happened to you?
No, I mean...
Never.
There's definitely been like turbulence and shit.
Right, yeah.
I don't know. Honestly, dude, I think it's fun. Like
turbulence?
Yeah.
You're crazy, man.
Like I don't know, man. I'm just really not one of those people that's it's nervous on planes and shit. Probably because, you know, I was on a plane for the first time. I was like 4. My dad sat my sister and I up in the fucking rotor while it was spinning, like, which is illegal. Like, took a picture of us.
Took a picture of us. Got criminal evidence.
He's like, yeah, like, people have been fired for putting these on Facebook, for putting these pictures on Facebook. Like, really? And you just did that to us at 4? Like...
So, PNWR, 7th grade, you said, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how you look at you in the photo of Andre, like way here. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 7th grade, what you go to PNWR. Seattle's sick, but you probably didn't really care about the city as much as you cared about the contest, yeah.
Yeah.
So how was the contest?
Oh, the contest was great.
Like, what was your vibe from the contest? What did you remember?
Well, that was where we met Gentry.
Okay.
And Zach Rubino.
Zach was yo-yoing then too?
Yeah. Cool. That was like their second contest. They competed at BAC. Didn't do too well.
No one does as well their first.
Yeah, exactly. And so that was like that was the first contest that they did well at. And I was That's like, cool. That was the first contest I competed at it all.
Did you final?
No.
Did you compete in 1A?
Yeah, I got 24th in prelims.
That's not bad though.
Yeah, it was okay. It was fun.
What did you compete with? What yo-yo do you remember?
The Woolly Marmot.
Woolly Marmot, that's sick.
Yeah.
This is pre-Caribou Lodge though, yeah? Like you weren't...
Definitely.
Did you think about getting sponsored then or anything? Or were you just like, no, not at all? So you'd been yo-yoing kind of on and off for like a year at this point probably? 1.5, 2 years?
Yeah.
That's crazy to me because nowadays people get sponsored in like 6 months or something. Not literally, but you know, it'll seem like, oh, they just were a part of the community for like a short period of time. And like, even if they are really good, like I understand if someone gets sponsored when they're really good, but it's just like the homie hookup like 7 months into being in the community. It's like, how are you friends with someone for that long? And it's like, give you this amazing position in our community somehow. So you weren't thinking at all about being sponsored or anything. You just love that yo-yo. You probably like Jensen yo-yoing at the time. That's sick.
Yeah, Jensen was there.
Were you on forums and stuff by that point, or?
Yeah, definitely.
So when you went to PNWR, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, dude, that was where I met Gentry.
You were watching videos. You were in the thick of it.
Yeah, definitely. And like, I added Gentry on the forums. We were messaging after that.
What forum was it? YoYo Nation.
That was YoYo Nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. That was great. It was like my first exposure to a contest.
Did you buy yo-yos from anywhere else other than YoYo Nation? Or?
YoYo Expert.
YoYo Expert, which is new at the time.
YoYo Guy.
So. Yeah. I forget that like how quickly YoYo Expert happened. So when I first started working at Yo-Yo Factory, it was like YoYo Nation was like the shit, you know, and they were ordering a ton of yo-yos. And Andre and YoYo Expert were ordering a lot of yo-yos, but like YoYo Nation was still like that store. But then it was like literally in 2 months it like switched like very quickly. Yeah. Like even YoYo Nation went from ordering a lot to ordering nothing, like basically. Yeah. And then YoYo Expert was still ordering even more and more and more, like constantly. So it was like,
that's why I was glad I got to make it out to that last International Yo-Yo Open.
That's sick.
Yeah.
Oh, for the YoYo Nation.
Yeah.
You mean?
Yeah.
I thought you meant because like Andre was so young in the infancy of YoYo Expert.
That was cool
like,
too.
Oh, R.I.P. YoYo Nation.
That was cool too, but no, yeah, it was like I got to see YoYo Nation full force. Yeah.
Word. So PNWR 7th grade. It was tight. Did you buy any yo-yos there? Do you remember anything about like the vendors or whoever were there?
Yeah.
That got released.
My dad bought me an Enemy, Yo-Yo Jam Enemy.
That's cool, I guess.
Yeah.
Were you into Eminem at the time?
No.
Are you into Eminem now?
Somewhat. I mean, everyone's into Eminem somewhat, I feel.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, you covered. Yeah.
Good point. So your dad bought you an Enemy. That's funny.
Yeah.
Did you like Johnny DeValier? Did you know who that was at the time?
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I just liked Yo-Yo Jam, I think.
Yeah, Yo-Yo Jam was still kind of sick at that point.
Yeah, like there was a period where I really wanted to get on Yo-Yo Jam.
Really? That's awesome. That was like your first team aspiration.
Yeah.
I wanted to get on Yo-Yo Jam too, and then I realized like in my region there was like 4 people in Yo-Yo Jam or something. I'm like, I'm never gonna get on Yo-Yo Jam.
Yeah, that was. I remember I repped Yo-Yo Jam shirts at contests a couple times.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, and you were into Andre, so it's like.
Yeah, of course.
Andre is like almost such a big entity that you forget that he exists with other people and things. You know, you think he just is like his own thing, and the dark
at this
magic
point,
is its own thing.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. At this point, it's like Yo-Yo Jam is pretty drifted off from Andre's image, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But it always, like the dark magic was like everywhere.
That's sick. So did you meet any yo-yo friends at PNWR you chatted with online or like?
It was just Gentry.
Oh, word. One of my favorite
Gentry
things.
and Zach, yeah.
Gentry and Zach.
Yeah,
that's
Zach,
all who stuck out to you.
But Zach wasn't on the forums, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Gentry and I were like...
That was like one of my favorite things at Contest was meeting people who weren't like community pillars or big competitors or anything. It was like just people who I randomly talked to on the forum. I was like, oh, this guy is super cool. Like, I want to meet him. Like, this is probably way too early for you, but do you remember this guy, Luke Vader? You ever heard of him?
Gosh. Dude. I feel like I do, but who was he?
He just like modded Freehand Zeros back in the day. He like kind of quit yo-yoing right around you did.
Yeah, okay.
But he worked at an M&M factory, like the M&M Candy, Mars Candy Corp factory. And one year for Tennessee States when we went down, he brought like a trunk full of M&Ms for everyone, and then I brought them home. We seriously had M&Ms for like a year at my house. Like we had a industrial box full of like fun size packages and like peanut M&Ms, almond M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms, but like
wow,
the chocolate is so bad eventually. Yeah, dude, it was crazy. So yeah, shout out Luke Vader, shout out the yo.com. So you're like in it yo-yo wise. So you go to PNWR. That's like not. Is that your first contest or
first time competing? Yeah.
Oh, this was your first contest.
That was my first contest.
International Yo-Yo Open 2009 is your first contest. PNWR 2010 is like your first foray into the yo-yo community. Otherwise, like going to an outside contest from the East Coast.
Yeah.
Because the East Coast was kind of and competing. The East Coast was kind of dead at that point, right? Like
definitely.
People still yo-yoed, but there wasn't really like contests or anything like that. It seemed like I was in Arizona, so I couldn't.
It definitely was obvious back then that the yo-yo scene was happening on the West Coast for sure.
Was it?
I thought so.
Well,
yeah.
like I said, so I was on the West Cost, so I can't tell you what the East Coast mentality was.
Oh, definitely.
So what did you feel like being on the East Coast at that point? Like how? Because like obviously on the West Coast, yo-yoing was already way more popular when I started yo-yoing too, like in 2004, 2005. And the East Coast wasn't dead. Like Mitchell's had like 10 people that would go to Yo-Yo Club, and we would have MAR every year and stuff. But I was like, oh, it's not popping like it could be. Like West Coast, yeah, they had PNWR, and then they had Cal States, and there was all these different, not Cal States, they had BAC,
and the cash prizes too.
Yeah, and like there's just a lot of serious players out there, and the East Coast is so broken up and sporadic. So how did it feel at the time? Like, what did you look at on the West Coast and you were like, that's so tight, I wish I could be doing that?
It just seemed so much more like legitimate for sure. Like everything just seemed like a bigger contest, and like it was happening out on the West Coast.
Yeah, and when you're a kid and like you go to those bigger venues, that's like all the PNWR is at, it's like, damn, like people are out here. Like 100 people when you're a kid seems like 1,000. Yeah. So like when there's 300 people at PNWR and you're like, damn, this is crazy. Like I remember the first concert I went to was at the Wells Fargo Arena, and there was like whatever, maybe like 8,000 people there or something. I was like, there's like 20,000 people here. This is insane. It's like 20,000 people is a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot. It's like a packed out stadium. You know what I mean? So what was your next move after PNWR? You come home? I'm sure you were stoked then, because after you go to a contest when you're a kid, you're pumped.
I was super stoked.
You learn some tricks, you meet people. Like,
yeah, and I remember, like hearing Gentry had like Chico Yo-Yo Club and everything. And
he was sponsored by them at the time, or?
I don't know if he was sponsored, but
like
he was...
Flow.
Yeah, he was using their yo-yos.
Yeah,
like,
he was going to Yo-Yo Club in Chico.
Right.
So, like, they were making yo-yos. You want to support your local home team.
Yeah.
So, of course, it makes sense.
And then, so I thought that was awesome, and I started looking up. That's when I found Yo-Yo Joe's, because I looked up on the internet, like, any yo-yo stores near me.
So you had not been to Yo-Yo Joe's at this point?
No.
But it's like an hour and a half away from here, yeah?
Yeah.
Or maybe even longer. It's about 2 hours from here, right?
I think it's like an hour and a half,
Hour 45 minutes,
maybe a little longer with traffic,
but, yeah. On the East Coast, you get used to driving distances to actually make it out to things sometimes. Because if you live in a place like this, it's not like there's a crazy concert venue or something out here. So you're going to go to Philly to go to a show. Or
Right, definitely.
So you found Yo-Yo Joe's.
Yo-Yo Joe's was great.
And when was it? Do you remember the first time you went to Yo-Yo Joe's?
Yeah, definitely.
About what time? Like a year?
It was like, I think it was like around Christmas time in 2010.
That's cool.
Or no, 2000. It had to have been right after PNWR, actually.
Okay,
yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so probably February, March, actually.
So Yo-Yo Joe's little backstory was the toy store that was the spin-off, I guess you could say. Not spin-off. The guy who ran the toy department, Joe Mitchell, my yo-yo godfather, and the guy who I'm eventually going to interview as soon as we get a few more of these under our belt. He ran the toy department of a family toy store that his family owned for years. His name is Joe Mitchell. The toy store was called Mitchell's, and when they went out of business, when the economy collapsed in 2008, he started his own toy store immediately afterwards. Like, right as Mitchell's closed down, 2 weeks later, Yo-Yo Joe's opened up in 2008. So, wow. So it took you like a year or so, but it's like an hour and a half away, so it was a drive. Yeah. So he opened this yo-yo store, not a yo-yo store, it's a toy store, really. Amazing toy store, way ahead of its time. It's called Yo-Yo Joe's.
Yeah.
And you went in Christmas of 2009, maybe?
Yeah, maybe a little after. No. It was like 2010, yeah.
Okay. Christmas of 2010? Or fall?
A little after.
Fall, winter of 2010?
Yep.
And, like, what happened the first time you went? Was AJ there? Or, like, what was going down?
I think AJ... I don't remember if AJ was there the first time. He was definitely there pretty frequently, though. JONROB was definitely there.
He was there?
Yeah.
How was that, seeing JONROB for the first time?
Oh, that was definitely, like...
Were you pretty good at the time?
Oh, no, I was, like... I mean, I thought I was great.
Trash, but like
I thought I was great.
Yeah, you were probably proficient, but proficient now versus proficient in 2010 are two different things. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, but like if you were pretty good, JONROB would be the first guy to be like, pretty good. Like, how long you been yo-yoing for? Like he'd want to get all this information from you. But how was that the first time?
Oh, it was like, do you remember Jared Ferrati by chance?
I know him now, yeah, but I didn't meet him at the time. No.
It was like me and him. It was like we were probably like the best ones there, and like JONROB was always like telling us that our tricks weren't original.
He was saying that to you?
Yeah.
How? So this was 2010. Right?
2010, yeah.
So JONROB's like 30 years old, and you're like, how old? 13?
13 or 14. Yeah.
And he's
13.
Like, they're good, but they're not original.
Right.
He would say that. He'd be like, y'all are good, but like the tricks, like you could be more original.
Pretty much.
It was like a compliment sandwich. Like he wouldn't even say you're good. He'd just be like, you need to step the originality up.
Yeah, he'd be like, why do I see you doing Yuki's tricks over there? Like,
well, I mean, that's like a little nudge. It's not like he's calling you out for it.
Right, you know? Right. No, it was like, I mean, I appreciated it.
Right,
you know,
it's a
looking
call
back.
Out,
yeah.
But it's not like he's not like negging you for it. He's not like, that's whack, you're doing Yuki's tricks. It's like, why see you doing Yuki's tricks over there?
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome. You need that guidance, though. You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Because like very early on, I'm sure you started developing your own.
I never, because my only I never really thought about creativity much in tricks before that, honestly.
Really?
So that was
before
good
you met JONROB, you think? Looking back, you think JONROB was the divergence of like,
absolutely,
you were yo-yoing and then maybe you were starting to make up your own combinations of tricks, but you were like, Yuki's tight. I love Yuki too, so I would do Yuki tricks too.
Yeah.
But like
that whole Yo-Yo Joe's scene definitely was like
very influential. Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, it helps so much going to a yo-yo club and working with other yo-yo players. Y'all just want to sit on the internet and yo-yo with one another and post trick circles. You need to go out there, meet more yo-yo players. It's crazy. I always use these examples of like yo-yo players that are in Philadelphia that I've never met. And like they're busy, they can't make it out to contests, and like a lot of people are interested in yo-yoing now, so it's different. But at the time, it's like, all right, I'm gonna drive an hour
and a half
to get to this yo-yo club, which is fucking awesome. Excuse me.
Shout out to my parents. Yeah.
Dude, parents are crucial. But your dad had been to PNWR. Your mom went to this event, right?
Mm.
So they were like, obviously he's really into this. We're going to go down. And it wasn't like y'all went every week. I'm sure sometimes you did for a while, go every week. Or
they were pretty crazy with it, honestly. They were
driving you that far.
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
It was very awesome.
Yeah. But they saw how good it was for you, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was fun.
Like, when the JONROB type things happen, like parents see the foresight that goes into that, and they're like, at first they're probably like, why is this fucking guy talking to my kid that way? Yeah. But then they're like, wow, like my kid gets better after he, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
no, definitely.
So when you're going to Yo-Yo Joe's and you're meeting JONROB, and then what's happening to your yo-yoing, I guess, at this point? Because like JONROB is kind of giving you shit in a way for like in a nice way though, like just telling you like, yo, you can do better than this. Like you're capable of doing better. Like try to do something that's original. And like, I
mean, yeah, in my head at this point, I've never thought about anything other than like trying to do well at contests. Honestly.
Yeah. When you were really young, even?
Yeah, when I was young. Like, I mean, when my only contest was PNWR, and then I went to NER as well.
But Yuki was killing contests at that point, so you were like, word, that's where I need to do tricks that are kind of based around.
Yuki was insane, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's always insane.
He's so amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing yo-yo player, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and so I was trying to replicate his tricks so I could do well at contests, and then I never really thought, like, oh, you have to make your own tricks. And that whole Yo-Yo Joe's scene, mostly JONROB.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like kind of the first time I was like, oh, yeah, I gotta like make my own tricks. That's cool.
Awesome. How did that feel though, having him say that? Because I'm sure you went in there and like you said, you thought you were pretty good. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you were, because if you can do some Yuki tricks, it's like you're obviously proficient.
Have some skill.
Yeah, you skill. Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, it's like
you might not be like to do original tricks is kind of. It's a step up from just copying other people's tricks.
He's it was.
But was that like when you heard that from someone? Because he doesn't say it in a necessarily nice way. He's not like insulting you, but he's not like, I know you can do better than this, Michael. Like, let's step your game up. It's like
I was a little bummed.
Like you said, you were like, why are you doing Yuki tricks over there? Like it bums you out at first, but then like what happened afterwards?
Oh, I mean, you just take that
you
take that getting bummed feeling, and you're just like, it just all kind of settles in the mind. And
But do you think you were bummed just because like you looked up to JONROB and it's like, oh man, this guy's like my idol? But like again, now you look back and you're like, man, this guy like really helped me out or like pushed me in the right direction.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Okay. And he also gave me some fashion advice too back then.
Fashion advice?
Yeah.
When you were how old again?
13.
13 years old. What did he tell you to wear?
He told me what not to wear.
What not to wear. Okay, that's even better. He told me what not to wear a lot too. What did he tell you not to wear?
Soccer shorts.
So you were just wearing just hella soccer shorts at the time? Well,
soccer shorts and like, YoYo Contest tees, just like that one.
What did he say to you? Do you remember?
It's just like, you gotta get your look up on stage a little, man. Like, something like that.
What did he say? People are taking more serious, or?
Yeah, like, I don't know. It's like take your outfit more seriously. Like, I was like, shoot, man, he's right.
That's so funny. He's like, you suck at yo-yo, you gotta get better, you gotta step the look up, then come back next week. And you're like, all right, Mr.
You got it.
You got it. So, how long were you going to Yo-Yo Joe's for? Quite a long time.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah, so that's like, but the first time you went to Yo-Yo Joe's, though, JONROB was definitely there. You were like, damn, this guy's tight. Yeah. And you keep going. Joe's also a character.
Oh, Joe is amazing. Yeah.
So like great. Joe early on, I'm sure was like helping you out and like.
Yeah, definitely.
Trying to do yo-yo stuff with you, trying to get you to buy stuff.
Yeah. No, he thought it was great.
Like, have you tried this yet? It's really good. And you're like, oh, I don't really want it. And he's like, but you should try it.
Yeah, no, I loved the Yo-Yo Joe's community,
That's
honestly.
awesome.
That was amazing.
Did you went to MAR during those years also? And Mid-Atlantic Regional, that was the Yo-Yo Contest. Joe Mitchell ran. Joe Mitchell, who was also the president of the American Yo-Yo Association.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we're going to talk about this when I interview him.
Wow.
I know a lot of shit that doesn't really pertain to anything in life other than this podcast. So it'll be useful this one time and one time only. So, what happened next? Like, what's your next yo-yo memory after you start going to Yo-Yo Joe's? Because when you discover a club like that, that's a big thing that I feel is lacking in the yo-yo community now, is people get that club feeling from going on the BST and being on the Reddit, or being, the subreddit, R Throwers, which is awesome. Like, I love R Throwers, and I think everyone should go on it, but I think that substitutes a feeling that when you and I were younger, going to Yo-Yo Joe's, and you interact, even if it's just JONROB, Joe Mitchell, and two other kids there who are trash, it's like, yo, this is so tight that this guy's giving me advice. Like, I'm here hanging out with people who are really into what I'm into. And, like, talking with JONROB, too. Like, he's into yo-yoing, so he's like, do you see this new Yo-Yo Jam yo-yo? What you think? Yeah. Like, did you see this freestyle from Southeast Regional? What you think? Like, did you learn this trick yet? Like, he would be trying to learn tricks from you. He's showing you trick. Do you know Brentstall yet? Do you know backwards Brentstall? Like, he would just be into it, you know what I mean? And then, like,
Yeah.
He also would help you develop style too.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
like one of the things he loved to do was doing Brentstall, but seeing how slow you could do it. Like throwing the yo-yo as high as you could and doing the whip and then getting the string to fold under and then catching the yo-yo as it falls down, but just doing it as slow as possible. And like things like that really develop your style when like you don't know what that is when you're first starting to yo-yo. Like you're just kind of doing the tricks, like you said, you're doing Yuki tricks, so you probably look like Yuki a little bit. But like
I never paid attention to those subtleties until very recently, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, your next yo-yo memory, what was?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. I went to NER, like I was saying, and then I
Started going to Yo-Yo Joe's a year later.
Started going to Yo-Yo Joe's. And
what was your next contest after you started going to Yo-Yo Joe's in winter of 2010?
I think it was BAC.
Really?
Yeah, I went
so that was like your second or third big contest.
Yeah, BAC, I went out to the big contest. I remember JONROB saw me there. He was like, awesome. "Is this the kid from Yo-Yo Joe's?"
That's funny. Was that the year that I was there too?
Yeah, you were definitely there. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was the year we did the big 5A promotion, 2010. Or no, it was 2011 that you went.
2011,
right?
Yeah.
So that wasn't the year of the big 5A promotion, or was it? I forget those years.
I went to 2010 as well, but yeah, no, I just didn't make finals. Yeah.
You went to 2010 BAC too after PNWR. Yeah. Jesus Christ, dude! Oh, so you were there for the 5A thing? That's awesome. Yeah. I was gonna say, I feel like I've been seeing you at contests for a lot longer than we've been getting into hijinks together.
Yeah, it's been
which is really where the memories start, the hijinks, you know what I mean? The after hour.
Yeah.
So, damn, you went to BAC 2010. So this is like 2011, your yo-yo career. What's going on? Like, you competed at BAC again. Did you final at BAC 2011?
At BAC 2011, I did not final, no.
Did not final.
But I picked up the Chico YoYo Company sponsor at PNWR 2011.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So you went to PNWR and BAC in 2011.
Yeah.
PK, Papa Kurtz at the flights, man.
Yeah, that was great.
Whole time? That's awesome, yeah.
Yeah.
That really helped you out, though. That's sick.
Yeah.
He was like...
Threw me into the community, for sure.
Parents are always your OG sponsor, but it's really sick when they have like little connections like that. Because I definitely took the bus to like so many yo-yo contests, because it's like, damn, I can't afford to fly. But I didn't care, because it's like I'm getting out there to see my friends. I get to compete at this contest. Like, I didn't care. It was going to be 20-hour bus ride to...
Oh, gosh.
Dude, I took we drove to Iowa. It took 20 hours, but then the car broke and we had to take a bus back from Minnesota to Virginia, which was 40 hour or 40. It was like it would have been like not 40 hours. It's like a 30-hour drive, but it would have been something crazy, like, or not 30 hours. Sorry, I'm exaggerating and not thinking about actual distances.
It would have been a long time,
dude. Yeah, I just remember the bus trip back was like 4 days with Joey, Sebastian, Danny, and me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, dude, good times. I gotta have I gotta get Sebastian up and do a ramen crew reunion episode. So anyway, you go to PNWR 2011, you said, right? You get sponsored.
Yeah, that was Chico YoYo Company.
So how long had you been yo-yoing at this point before you got sponsored? Like, seriously?
Well, I mean, just the year before was my first time competing.
Seriously yo-yoing. Yeah, so that was really quick even for the time.
It was pretty quick, yeah.
It was very quick.
But it wasn't like I was, like... I still didn't make it out of finals, you know?
No, but they were trying to make a bet on you early on. If you were good friends with Gentry and stuff.
Yeah.
They probably were looking at the long-term plan, and they're like, all right, Gentry's going to stay on Chico YoYo forever. And then that's how Thad and Bob are the guys that run Chico YoYo Company.
Yeah.
Shout out to Bob and Thad. I love you guys. But you don't stock my yo-yos. So I'm gonna move this more on the table because I keep knocking over your yo-yos. So you get sponsored by Chico YoYo Company, which is awesome. Again, shout out to Bob and Thad. They're sending you yo-yos. You're getting some sweet free yo-yos now, right?
Yeah.
How was that?
Well, you know, it was my dream to be on Yo-Yo Jam at the time.
But Chico YoYo Company's still pretty sick.
Chico came in. And
technically,
I was like,
Chico YoYo Company probably had nicer yo-yos than Yo-Yo Jam at the time.
Maybe, yeah, maybe.
I think so.
I was using the Phenom was an underrated yo-yo though. I will say that.
No, they made some great yo-yos. I'm not saying that. In my brain, I remember the Chico Yo-Yo Company yo-yos coming out and then playing with them and being like, oh,
they were good.
They're perfectly smooth.
Right.
I didn't think they were great. It was just like, they're pretty smooth.
Yeah.
So you get sponsored by them. What's that first box looking like, Michael? Do you remember what the first yo-yo package from your first sponsorship was? What did you get in there?
I think they just gave me some yo-yos in Seattle, and I just took
like
them
what
home.
They had at the booth or something.
Yeah, it was like a couple heavy hitters and like.
Did you get one of the flame yo-yos?
Those were actually really cool, though. Yeah.
That's sick. So you got a couple heavy hitters.
Got a couple heavy hitters, some bulldogs. You remember Richie? You know Richie Nye?
No.
He's from Chico. He does like mods and stuff. He gave me a bulldog with like some cool mods in it.
How did he mod it?
Like he just put some holes around the outside.
Why?
I don't know. It was special, you know. Yeah, that was cool. And
That's cool.
Yeah.
So you go home, you're practicing, you go to BAC, you don't final though, right? BAC 2011.
2011, no.
But you're still repping Chico Yo-Yo Company.
Yeah.
And then what's next for Kurti?
Well, I think somewhere around 2011. I wasn't on Chico Yo-Yo Company very long. I don't remember how long, but I quit.
You quit? How long? Do you remember?
I really don't. It was probably like 6 months or something.
6 months? That long. And you didn't have a plan after this. You weren't like, all right, I'm going to be on this next company.
No, honestly, I wanted to be on Korbel Lodge. That was my goal.
At that point, you were?
I remember being... It was PWR 2012.
Okay.
Man, this is
you were still on Chico Yo-Yo Company, though? At this time?
Yeah.
But, like, they were kind of on the outs or whatever. They maybe weren't making a lot of yo-yos or whatever.
Yeah, it was just like... I don't know. It just wasn't...
Okay.
Yeah, it was whatever. At the point.
This wasn't working out.
It wasn't working out. And yeah, I got to PWR and I honestly saw Korbel Lodge was like killing it. I tried Achieve for the first time and I loved it. Like, I was like, this is the best yo-yo.
How old are you? 14 now? Maybe 13?
2012. I don't know if you have 13 or 14.
13. I think you're 13. 13.
Yeah.
You're like 2012. What grade are you in? 8th grade?
2012 was freshman year of high school.
Okay, so you were 14 then.
I was 14. And yeah, I thought the Chief was amazing.
Yeah, Chief is a great yo-yo.
Yeah.
So you play with the Chief. Did it drop at that contest, or you just played with it? I don't know. I'm just asking.
It was... I don't remember either, honestly.
Okay.
It dropped around then, for
Korbel
sure.
Lodge was killing it. Chief was awesome. And, like, it looked great. It had great colors. Like, Korbel Lodge, I don't really know who was on the team at the time. But they still had a great team.
Zach, for sure.
Yeah, Zach was on the team already?
Yeah.
Okay, Charles and Zach were both killing it. Was Innovation Movement a thing yet? Sebi was still on the team?
Yeah.
Damn, could you imagine Korbel Lodge now with Zach, Charles, and Sebi still on the team?
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe I misspoke, honestly.
Yeah, because he wasn't on the team in 2011 when he placed really high world. You're right.
Yeah.
He was off the team already.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
For sure.
But still, Charles, Zach, they had a sick team. So Korbel Lodge is killing it, and you're like...
Harrison was fresh on the team, I remember.
Harrison was fresh on the team, okay.
But yeah, they were killing it at the time. Yeah.
You're like, all right, I want to be a part of this.
Pretty much. And I quit Chico, and I was like... I mean, I didn't, like, plan on getting on Korbel Lodge.
That wasn't why you quit Chico.
No, but it was like... That was the dream for sure.
To get on Korbel Lodge.
Yeah, to get on Korbel Lodge. And then, yeah, time went by.
How long?
Like, I think I tried for a long time. Like...
What were you doing trying to get on?
Like, I was making YouTube videos.
That's cool, though. Yeah. Because at the time, YouTube was still... Like, yo-yoing and social media in general was still very early.
Yeah.
Because, like, yo-yoing didn't want to become more... Like, yo-yoing, I don't know. Like, we had our own... Like, we had a way to host videos on yoyoing.com. And, like, do you remember that? The yoyoing.com video site? No, you don't remember that?
I wasn't a part of that.
Okay, never mind. Like, a website would host all of our videos for us, like YouTube before YouTube.
Yeah.
But anyone could upload it as long as they had an account.
And you had to, like, download videos, new tricks.
Yeah, you could. It'd be better quality than watching it on the fucking internet. But so it was just a different time. But that's awesome, though. You're uploading to YouTube. And
yeah.
Were you, like, talking to Chris or anything? Or how are you?
Not much. I mean,
Were you going to contests and stuff? Or still?
I was going to contests always, yeah. And, like, I remember BAC 2012, I used a Chief. Like, the whole 2012 year, I used a Chief. And, like...
The whole year you used the one yo-yo.
Yeah, and I was, like, always trying to get a new one.
Because
like,
kids nowadays, like... They'll use your yo-yo for like 2 months and then they'll like message you, DM you and be like, did you see this video I did? And you're like, yeah, man, cool. And you're like, did you see this contest that I almost finaled in? And you're like,
which is cool.
Yeah,
which
it is
great.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Then they're like, are you gonna sponsor me? And you're like, no, man. Like, it takes a little more than that. And it's like you said, a whole year you used one yo-yo.
I think it was longer than a year.
The same
honestly,
you competed with one yo-yo.
It was a long time. Yeah.
Like, people don't even think about Gentry now competing with the same yo-yo for ages. Like
Since
Shutter.
2014.
Yeah, and then even now he's competing with Y-angle Shutter or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, basically just a variation of the same yo-yo, which is awesome. But it's like people now look at yo-yoing like this turn and burn thing where it's like they'll make one yo-yo every like month almost, and then it's like that's the only thing they'll promote is this new yo-yo. And if they make an old one, it's like, oh, it's a retro run or something, or they don't even want to make an updated version. It's like you put all this work into promoting this, and there's all this lead up, and you're snowballing into something that's bigger, and then you're like, kill that one, like let's move on to the next one. It's just such a funny thing to hear you say, like, I use the same yo-yo for a whole year as a kid. A 14-year-old kid, or you were 15 this year, maybe?
And I like it. There's nothing wrong with that, like the way it is now. More so, I'd say, like, I like that.
No, I agree.
But like, it was definitely a yo-yo that was like, I want to use this for a long time. I'm just trying to point out that like the loyalty now when it comes to people trying to get sponsored or like even staying on a team sponsored is so like, like it's not how it used to be where like you wanted to get on Yo-Yo Jam. But how long were you on Chico Yo-Yo Company for? Probably at least a year, maybe? No, it wasn't long.
Not
It was like
That's
6
funny.
months or less. I don't know.
You were an early adopter, Kurti. Early adopter of team hopping. No, I'm just kidding. Because when you realize something like that so early on, like, oh, I want to eventually get onto this team, like you want to get on Korbel Lodge or something, you want to quit that other team no matter what the other team is going to say. You just know you don't want to be on that team anymore.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Word. So you compete with the Chief, when did you say? 2013?
2012.
BAC.
Yeah, like the whole year, 2012 BAC.
Did you go to PNWR that year?
2012 PNWR, yeah, I definitely did. And that was when I kind of like, that was when I was still on Chico, but I was like, all right, like.
Oh, you were still on Chico.
I think I competed with the Chief at PNWR.
But you were still on Chico, technically.
And I was like, I like quit at the contest or something, or like right before. Yeah.
Damn, that's funny.
Yeah.
You're going on stage like, I'm out.
I was like, this is the best yo-yo ever. Like
the best yo-yo ever.
I loved it. Yeah, and so I just did that for a long time, and then I competed at multiple other contests in 2012 with the Chief, like NER and MAR. And
did you final at any of them? Or?
Yeah, I did pretty well. NER I got third.
That's sick.
2012.
In 1A?
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, that was like one of my first contests.
So you started
some
like
Waka
coming
Flocka.
up pretty heavy. Because you used Waka Flocka
Yeah, man.
at 2012 NER. That's sick. How old were you? 14?
14,
That's
yeah.
so sick.
Yeah, it was
Because
great.
now, since you use the lamest music, it'll be like whatever EDM thing is.
Yeah. I look back and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I used that.
Dude, that's so sick. That's what you liked, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome. And like yo-yoing, you realize very quickly, like, yo-yoing kind of rewards you for doing your own thing. Like, even if it's just a couple people within yo-yoing, if you're 14 years old and you're like, I'm using Waka Flocka, and 5 people at the contest are like, dude, I love that fucking song, like Waka Flocka is sick, or like even just one person or whoever the person you look up to or whoever. Like if one person reinforces it, it's enough. But like if people start catching on to it and like more people are watching you because you're using original music versus everyone else, then it's like, oh cool. You see that early on too. You're like, all right, if I use
I love that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I feel like I don't know, like some people use like Ethan Chung, for example.
Mm-hmm.
His music is so distinct to his style.
Ethan's
to
one
me.
of my favorites. Yeah,
yeah,
for that exact reason. Yeah.
It's awesome.
So you competed in more than a couple contests with the Chief in 2012. I'm sure you're still going to Yo-Yo Joe's, right?
Yeah, definitely.
2012 is kind of did anything else notable happen in 2012? Do you remember?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm trying to remember what. At some point, Maider got versus Newton went down.
Yeah. So when did you meet Maider? When did that whole thing come?
I've known Maider like for a long time.
When did you first talk to Maider? Do you remember?
It was on the forums.
Okay.
On YouTube.
But you guys lived not super close, but like 2 hours away. Maybe?
3.5.
3.5 hours away. Damn.
Yeah, we were just our parents were good people.
Yeah.
And drove us, but
damn, that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Would your parents like stay up there afterwards, or they drive 6 hours in a day just to drop you off? No, they drive back home.
At first we would like drive the whole way, but then we kind of started meeting halfway because it's just easier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but
that is way easier. That'd be a really great idea. Actually, halfway picking each other up, and then you get an hour and a half car ride with your bro.
Yeah, it was great.
He's talking about yo-yo shit the whole time.
Exactly.
You're like, what new yo-yos did you get? Like, I mean, you already know because you're talking to him all the time. But like,
yeah,
dude, that's sick. So what year is that? Did you like start hanging out with Maider?
I mean, we started talking on the forums and Skyping and stuff. Like all the way back since 2010.
Really? Okay, that early, 2010.
Yeah,
right.
But like it's like 2012 now, and like we're meeting up a lot. And
it's 2012. Man.
At some point, his sponsor went down. Versus Newton.
So he got sponsored by Versus Newton. When do you remember? 2012.
2010, I want to say he got sponsored.
Oh, damn! So it was that early.
So
he had been sponsored for a minute. He was on Versus Newton for 2 years.
A year or two, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That is really crazy. So
him and Gecko.
Shout out to Gecko.
Yeah.
They'll get you anything you fucking want. So, Maider and Gecko on Versus Newton. They got Jeezy yo-yos, titanium yo-yos filling the crib.
Yeah.
So they're on Versus Newton. Versus Newton goes down. We're not gonna elaborate why. I'm sure that'll come up in future episodes, and I'll talk to Maider about it. But
yeah.
He eventually is off Versus Newton, and then what happens?
And then within like 4 or 5 days, apparently, I get a phone call from him, and he's like, "Yo, dog, like, I got sponsored by, I think I'm gonna join Caribou Lodge."
Really? That quick for him?
Yeah, and I had been trying for like a year or something.
But how are you trying? Do you know what your tactics were in comparison?
My tactics were just uploading YouTube videos.
But like, what was Maider doing? Because he wasn't really placing better at contests than you or anything, was he?
I think he was placing a little better, honestly.
At that point,
but not like crazy. But yeah, he was doing a little better.
Okay. And he maybe was going to more contests, or?
Probably about the same.
Okay.
Yeah, but. Yeah, he got sponsored, and he called.
But you said like 4, like so. Basically, Versus Newton ended, and then Chris probably hit him up and was like,
within days.
You on Caribou Lodge.
Yeah,
that's crazy. Maider didn't hit him up. Chris hit Maider up. That's cool. Okay.
And Maider was like, kind of like, oh man, I don't know, I'm gonna tell Kurti this kind of thing, and I was just.
He wasn't gonna tell you. Why? Why wasn't he gonna tell you?
Because he thought I would be all bummed,
Why? Well, you're a positive guy. He didn't think you'd be happy for him and be like, oh man, but you wanted to be on so bad.
Yeah, I just wanted to be on so badly. That was all it was. And obviously it was all good.
Yeah.
But he was just being a good friend.
That's cool.
And
so he called you. I just imagined him. I'm gonna do the worst Maider impression. Like, hey, what's up, Michael? I mean, his voice at the time was like, hey, what's up, Michael? Probably. Yeah. So
hey, what's up, Andrew?
Chris hit me Chris sent me a message on YoYo Nation.
On YoYo Nation.
It's probably how it was, to be honest, because they weren't on Facebook at the time, were they?
Facebook was new.
Yeah, for little people, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Younger people. So, damn, that's funny. So you remember that phone call? He called you and he's like, I think I'm gonna get a Caribou Lodge.
Yeah. I'm like, low key.
I can't believe he was 13 or 14 at the time too.
Yeah.
Were you guys 15 yet? This is 2012.
Yeah, 2012.
So you were 14.
Yeah.
Damn. I just can't imagine 12-year-olds having that conversation. It's kind of like not a serious conversation, but it's like when you're a kid and it's like these things are such huge entities in your brain.
Oh,
like,
huge, yeah.
Caribou Lodge, yo-yos, and it's like, I think I'm gonna get a Caribou Lodge.
I'm just like, oh my gosh. Like,
yeah, but you were psyched for him though. You're like,
I was psyched, but I was definitely bummed as well. But like, that was
because they're like,
natural.
That could have been me,
but he was like, dude, like, I'm gonna try to get you on, and I was like, you're the man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You instantly said that. Was that the same phone call?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Damn, y'all are not loyal at all. That's awesome. That's so sick. Maider did that for you. He's like, I'm trying to get you on.
Yeah.
I love you. Do a better impression of Maider though, because I imagine that phone call, like him being like, yeah, bro, like I think I'm gonna go on Caribou, and you being like, whoa, and then your heart drops and you're like, damn, like, but that's awesome, man. Like I'm super psyched. Then he's like, yeah, but you know I'm gonna try to get you on.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? Thanks, man. Like,
yeah, pretty much, man.
You know I'm gonna try to get you on, bro.
That's how it went.
That's so sick. So he gets on Caribou Lodge, and then like you're so that wasn't like stopping you from using the chief and going in though, because I'm sure Chris was noticing like, oh, you're using the yo-yo, like things are going well still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was great. He definitely just like mentioned my name and whatnot, and he was just like, all right, cool. So I guess Chris had like a little bit of an extra eye on me at that point.
That's cool.
And
but it wasn't. Did Maider tell you like what he said when he mentioned your name to Chris?
I don't remember exactly, but
that's funny. Okay,
it's probably just like, yeah, what about Michael Kurti or something?
And he's
like
yeah, he's good. Like we'll see in a little while. Yeah. But you're still going hard. Like you're practicing. You're getting like when you're that young yo-yoing, you're getting so good so quickly, right?
Yeah. And it's like little things that you figure out will make all the difference in like contest results and stuff.
Exactly. And then you start like, you go through a point where you want to be more original, and then you start sacrificing a little bit, and then you're like, you know what? Maybe I'll be a little, not less original, but like I'll start selling out my tricks a little more. Do something to place a little higher instead of doing like all original tricks, or like I don't have to have the most original horizontal combo. I look at every freestyle differently, honestly. It's even like, back then you did?
No, not that back then.
But now
yeah, it's like some freestyles I'm like, I'm not trying to score well. Like
when you do them, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all.
Word. All right, we'll talk about that more in a bit. I want to finish up your story.
For sure.
So you, how much more time, like, what was your next yo-yo memory? What's your next move after that? You're just chilling, yo-yoing. Did you make any more yo-yo friends other than Maider that would come down? You're going to Yo-Yo Joe's. So you had a solid group then anyway. That's still like probably 10, 15 people total. Yeah. And you have the internet too. So like you're getting fulfilled from all your friend angles as far as like, all right, like I got internet homies, I got real life homies. Like,
yeah, it was
that's
great.
Sick. But like, did you have like a group of friends that weren't yo-yoing in real life that you'd hang out with? Maybe like outside of school or anything, or?
Yeah, definitely.
What did they think of yo-yo?
I mean, like, the ones that hung out with me, they definitely were cool with it. Like, they thought it was really cool.
That's awesome.
They've always been like, if there's a yo-yo lying around, they'll pick it up and try to get a bind or something.
Try to catch a bind, bro.
Yeah, it's great. Oh, they think it's really cool. Sick. Yeah.
So
I know it's not like that for everyone.
No, it definitely was not like that for me. And like you said, I know a lot of other people, so you're very blessed, fortunate to be able to have a supportive friend group and supportive parents and all that stuff. So was it like a short amount of time before you got on Caribou Lodge, or like was there any more notable things that happened between Andrew Maider getting on Caribou Lodge? Because y'all were good friends, so like when he would get all the things, like I'm sure like when he got his first box, was he texting you like, yo, I got the fattest box from Caribou Lodge, or was he trying to be like a good friend and like, I'm not trying to rub it in?
He's always like a good friend.
That's awesome. Honestly. He's always a good friend.
I wasn't. Yeah, no. I mean,
it's not a good friend. It's just like you have the foresight not to like rub it in.
His foresight was incredible, especially for his age. Like at that age, I would have. If it was flip flopped, I probably would have been a jerk. Honestly, like.
I mean,
but unknowingly.
Right, you don't know, but like you don't think that you're gonna be rubbing it into someone else's face. That might have also been his parents. Like now, Andrew, like. Michael really wants to do this too, so like I don't know. Maybe one day he can be in your position, but not yet. Like it'll be his time. But like and he's like, okay, mom. Like,
we're thinking, yeah, man.
So he wasn't like rubbing it in your face or anything. Not that that would be rubbing it in your face, but he's keeping it chill, but like he's like getting yo-yos and shit. Was he like giving you shit on the side or anything? Like some yo-yos, or he probably wasn't getting a ton of stuff.
No, he wasn't giving me any yo-yos or anything, but because I
wasn't getting
like
a
bunch of Caribou Lodge.
Oh, okay, yes, you all were good.
Yeah, I was into him for a minute.
That's awesome.
And he just like we just made videos. Like every time we were together.
So y'all started collaborating, and then
right.
But he's on Caribou Lodge, so it's like, all right, we're gonna throw the logo in there anyway, which we're probably already doing. But
yeah, and like we made that one video that was like intro to 2013, I think.
Okay. He comes to Jersey to film with you. He lived in Jersey, right?
No, he was in New York.
He's in New York.
Upstate New York, yeah.
Upstate New York, even. Jesus, Christmas tree. So he drives down. Where'd you guys film this video at? 2013?
It was right around here. It was like a park that's like 2 minutes down the street.
That's sick, okay. So you guys filmed this video, and like, was it the end of Christmas break, I guess, or?
Yeah, it was right after Christmas, winter break.
And those breaks when you're a kid, you get so much better every time. Like,
oh, it was great,
because every break you're like yo-yoing constantly all fucking day, and then like by the end of break, you don't realize it. But you're like, damn, like I learned so much. Or even if you don't learn a ton of tricks, you like finitely tune all of your other tricks. And it's a very cool thing when you're a kid, those little breaks, you know. So he came down here, y'all filmed this video, and you did some sick tricks in it. Do you remember any of the tricks in particular you did that like really stood out? Or
I think it was like, because I think I did pretty well at nationals. I made nationals finals for the first time in 2013 as well.
Later that year.
So it ended up being a lot of the same tricks. That was kind of like the unveiling of them, I guess.
Okay, that's awesome.
It's kind of like a whole new trick set, yeah.
But a whole new trick set that you kind of made up, and even if like there wasn't all original elements and stuff, still stuff you like tailor fitted to your style.
Right.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then Chris noticed that and was like, okay, this is the time. Like he's on.
Yeah, I guess it was actually Jensen who like
told
Chris, like apparently that's what I was told.
Who told you that, Jensen? Or
I think I don't even remember.
That's hilarious. So Jensen was like, this is it. This is the video. We gotta put him on.
I guess so. Yeah. Then
That's awesome.
Chris was like, "Oh wow, okay, yeah, he's good." Like, yeah.
It's funny how sometimes people who own the companies, at first when it's just them, they're like, "All right, like this person will eventually get on," or it's like it almost has to be undeniable before a person can get on. But then as soon as you get like a secondary person who's in their ear, like a Jensen or someone on Yo-Yo Factory, like me or Miguel when we were sponsored by Yo-Yo Factory, it's like, oh, put Eves on. Eves is sick, or someone like that, where it's like you just add so many people to the team that ordinarily would have been like a year before they got on the team, and they may or may not have been playing with the Yo-Yos at that point, versus like when you got someone in your ear and it's like, put this person on. The owner is like, all right, cool, they're on. Like, so you got on, and then but after the video?
That was after the video. It was actually, I think it was the same, like the next day.
The next day they emailed you and they were like, this video is so sick, you gotta join Caribou Lodge.
Yeah, Chris sent me a message and was
Works quick then, man.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
That's awesome. How did that feel? Was it an email, or do you remember how you got the message?
Facebook message,
Facebook message, wow, okay.
And I remember I was on my penny board. Me and Maider were on our penny boards going to Applebee's.
So Maider was still here?
Yeah.
It's the same trip?
Same trip, yeah.
So when was this end of Christmas trip between 2012 2013?
Yeah, it was 2013 at this point. Yeah.
So like be January, fresh. Wow, what a great Christmas present. So you probably just got a grip of yo-yos and shit for Christmas. You're like flying high. You got some money in the bank because you're 14 and everyone just gives you cash at that point. And then you get on fucking Caribou Lodge. That's sick.
Yeah.
So this is like January 3rd or 4th maybe even? Or 5th, something like that? It doesn't matter. Exact dates are
this is...
But Maider's still here. Y'all are penny boarding to Applebee's.
We were penny boarding to Applebee's.
You're 14.
Yeah, and I felt my phone vibrate, and I remember thinking, like, oh, I wonder if this is, like...
Really? You were thinking about it even then?
Totally, yeah.
Did someone say something to Maider, like, yo, I think we're gonna put Kurti on the team? Oh, they did, and they kind of, like, leaked to you.
Yeah.
Maider might not have told you, but he's like, yeah, I think they're gonna put you on the team.
Maider was like... I remember him saying something to me. He's like, yo, like, I think you might get on, dude.
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so I remember getting the message, and Chris was just like, hey, dude, like...
But you were chill about it. It wasn't like you were... As soon as you heard that from Maider, you didn't message Chris, like, I heard I might get on, and it's like, obviously there's only 2 ways that you would have heard that.
Right.
So, like...
Yeah, and
that's funny.
It was like, it was super cool. Chris was super cool about everything. It was awesome.
So he messages you and is just like, hey, I love the video, or like, everyone on the team really likes you, I think we should put you on the team.
Yeah.
That's sick. That's awesome.
Yeah. And then the first box I got was really awesome too.
Yeah.
Jensen like did some artwork on it.
Oh wow.
Like, there was like 8 yo-yos, 9. There was a lot of yo-yos.
Wow, that's sick.
And
how did that feel? Because you had been sponsored by Chico Yo Company and gotten free yo-yos, but it's like the caliber of yo-yos and difference.
Yeah.
Of like, and it's like Caribou Lodge is that shit. It's like getting a box of Supreme or something. Dude. It's like, damn, I really just got $1,000 worth of free Supreme just now.
Yeah, that's what it felt like for sure. They set the skate deck. I still have it outside.
Oh, you got a skate deck the first time?
Yeah,
wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, man. Like it definitely felt like they were like it was a good place to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick. And then what? So you got on the team. And then I'm sure you got like a box like a couple weeks later or whatever coming from Canada. Probably took a minute at the time.
Yeah,
mail took longer back then. Do you remember?
Yeah, it was a couple weeks for sure.
Yeah, that's so crazy. Because now mail's like 2 weeks minimum. I feel like pretty much anywhere. But back in the day, 10 years ago, it would take like not 10 years ago, 7 years ago. It would take a minute to get mail sometimes from other countries.
It took a couple weeks, I think.
More. So, what was next? Do you remember like what the contest was, or like what was your next yo-yo move? Like you kept posting more and more.
It was just the same circuit, honestly, of contests.
The same circuit.
You know?
So you're just traveling around and like
PNWR, BAC, NER.
And then you turned 15 the next year, right?
Yeah.
So you like started like hanging out with everyone in yo-yoing, not just like kids your age. It's like older yo-yo players are starting to notice you and be like, oh, you're dope, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with them, and then like you start building friendships and relationships you ordinarily wouldn't have come across if you weren't involved in yo-yoing. Like you're not gonna find a 20-year-old in Flemington who's gonna want to hang out with you as a 15-year-old most of the time.
Yeah.
But in yo-yoing, it's like pretty normal for a person who's significantly older, right, to be like, oh, this person's dope, and if you're comfortable and cool enough around that person, they're not gonna be like, all right, I'll see you later. It's like they'll invite you to hang out. So like when did that start happening? Like all the other like really good yo-yo players started recognizing you and like inviting you to come hang out. And
I'd say that was 2014.
So when you got Caribou Lodge?
Yeah, it was after that, and after I got 5th at Nationals, I'd say.
Damn, you got 5th that year?
Yeah, in 2013.
Damn, that's crazy. So you like probably worked real hard that year then, or...
Yeah.
That was in like a weird period, I think, between... I don't want to say it technically is early 2000s yo-yoing. Like when I started yo-yoing, and then between, like when you came up, like 2013, that was like the in-between period to now.
Right.
Like that in-between period, if you had a really good set of original tricks that you could hit clean on stage, like you would do really well no matter what it felt like. Like you could final at Worlds, and like you'd have to sell out a little bit to maybe final, but then once you finaled, if you had I don't want to say a legendary set of tricks, but just something that judges could tell like that person is fucking really original, doing something that not everyone else is doing, they're gonna get rewarded for it. And they do now, but I just feel like it was more weighted back then.
Yeah.
Which is how someone, like, I can't remember what you did in that freestyle.
I was gonna say, I also feel like it's like when you do tricks that are dense yet original still.
Yeah.
Back then, especially, that
scored really crazy.
It was just gonna score really high.
I remember when you and Zach were like big on the forefront of that, and I was like telling a girl that I was dating at the time, like I was watching you and Zach yo-yo a lot, and I was explaining to her, like, she's like, why are you watching these kids so much? And I was like, oh, like their trick structure is really good, and I explained to them like their tricks like really, they score a lot of points very quickly. And she was like, oh, that's cool. I was like, I want to like yo-yo like that next year. She's like, you're gonna take stuff from kids? I'm like, no, I'm not taking their tricks. Like the way they yo-yo, their trick structure is like very advanced. Like they score a lot of points in a small amount of time. So that's how I want to structure my tricks from now on. Like when I make combinations of tricks, I'm gonna do my highest scoring stuff back to back to back to back, and like, you know, sometimes it happens on accident just because it feels good, like in succession, to do like multiple string hits of something, or like, oh, I'm catching this suicide here and this whip and this rejection, and like you just realize like, oh wow, that scores like 6 points in 3 seconds or something like that by accident. But like you realize then when you're a little bit more advanced or starting to notice that, okay, I'm gonna design my tricks to score that way.
Yeah, I think those are the best tricks, the ones that you make up and you're like, you're surprised every element that it's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, I don't know, those are the most original and best.
Just adding, I'm adding to the spillage I have.
To the Neapolitan ice cream.
Neapolitan drip.
Yeah.
So that's really an interesting notation too. I didn't really think about that telling you the ex-girlfriend story, but that like your tricks were denser than everyone else at the time, because you're totally right, you know what I mean? Like Yuki still had dense tricks, but there was a way that you could design your tricks, or I mean, I think because you did a lot of like red triangle stuff at the time, I want to say, right?
No.
No.
Sort of. I mean,
I feel like you had one specific combo that I can't remember exactly that like just had an insane amount of scores, and you had like a couple fake green triangle suicides, but like it was kind of before red triangles were like well known, so I think judges were like, fuck, that's crazy, like those are all real green triangles. I'm not saying you like cheated or did it on purpose. I'm just saying you were ahead of the curve, so they were like, wow, this is fucking crazy, like when they watched Luo Yi Cheng for the first time and it's like, look at all these green triangle suicides this guy's doing, and then they judge him hella high. But it's a really interesting notation you just saying about how dense your tricks were in comparison to everyone else's. It definitely sets you apart.
Too, I think, yeah.
Yeah, Maider's was definitely for sure up there too.
Yeah. And we worked with each other a lot. Like, our tricks were based on each other's tricks, for sure.
Do you remember kind of talking to each other about that? Like, oh, we need to do more in a closer amount of time? Or was it just natural progression as far as...
I think, honestly, like, we always had the idea that, like, I had bigger tricks and like he was better at like the techier stuff.
That's awesome.
And yeah, and so.
But you influenced each other because like you probably wouldn't have done like any of the neck stuff or like the foot bind or anything without shit that you had been doing at the time.
Right, yeah, it was like we definitely helped each other out in that way.
It's important to have yo-yo homies. Y'all gotta make it out and make friends and play with these fucking toys. So that's so tight that you guys like. I mean.
Dude. I'm definitely really grateful for that.
Dude, it's so helpful when you're younger and yo-yoing. Like, it helps you get better. It helps you... And at first, like you said, even when he got on Korbel Lodge, it's kind of weird. It's, like, intimidating because something new is being thrown in your face. And then very quickly, when you hang out with this person, you're like, that's so tight, teach me that. And then it switches a switch in your brain, like, flips a switch in your brain. Of, like, okay... now I can learn tricks from this person, like they're gonna help me get better, like this is steel sharpens steel and like we're gonna get better together, like it's better that I have this person than if I don't.
And you like don't really care if they like steal a trick or something, you know, it's like
y'all are building it together, it's
building together, exactly.
It doesn't really matter who makes up what at that point, like it does, but at the same time like y'all are both harping off each other constantly, so next up, what? So you get on Korbel Lodge, you get a fat fucking box.
Yeah, the fat box.
You get hella yo-yos. Do you remember what yo-yos you got exactly?
I remember there was like avalanches, cheese.
Were they like in the crazier colorways, or was it just like?
There was a camo avalanche. You remember those camo ones? Those were really cool.
Yeah.
And some canvases, I think.
Was avalanche a signature model for someone at one point? Was it Christian Kaluza's signature model, and then when he quit, they didn't?
It was. Yeah.
You don't gotta whisper. It's okay.
No. I just couldn't remember. I was like, yeah, wow.
That's funny. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I was stalking him on Instagram the other day, just wondering because I forgot about him. Because like him and I went to Russia together. Like we've not been through a lot, but just been on trips and shit together. And then I was like, yeah, I wonder what that dude's doing now. And, like he's just fucking posting selfies at the gym and shit. But. So
never know.
Never know. So 2013, you're competing all over the place, I'm sure, because you're on Korbel Lodge now. Like, you get this. I can't believe you got 9 yo-yos. That's crazy. That's a lot of yo-yos.
It's a lot of yo-yos.
First, and all the accessories, like when you first get sponsored too, like little shit, like. Even though if you have money and can afford string, it's cool to get like a couple hundred string for free, and you're just like sick. Like I don't have to worry about string ever. I'm good for a minute, you know what I mean? And then by the time you get your next box, you probably haven't even gotten through the whole shit that you originally sent, so like, you get even more string.
Just hope it's good string, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you get used to not being such good string.
True.
So, 2013, right? That's the year we're on?
Yeah.
What's happening in 2013? Tell me.
2013? I think we're almost through 2013.
No, because you got on Korbel Lodge in January 2013, right?
Yeah. It was honestly just, like I said, hitting the same circuit of YoYo Contest, BAC, PNWR, NER, and all those, I mean, I think we made some videos and stuff. Me and Maider would make videos in those years for sure.
Yeah. It's funny how, like, now that we're older and we're talking about it, the time is so much shorter than when we were, so much long. I'm trying to think of the right way to phrase this. Like, when we're kids, that shit seems so long. It's like when did you get your signature on Korbel Lodge?
2016.
2016.
15. No.
And you got
16,
on
yeah.
when again? 2013.
Yeah.
At the beginning of 2013.
Yeah.
And like they were a big company. There was a lot of people who needed pro models, and you got to earn a pro model. It's not like now where it's like, okay, you're on and you made 3 videos. I guess we got to give you a pro model now. Like the fuck. Okay. So you were on for like 3 years before you got this pro model, but it's like when back then it's like thinking in my brain, and I was younger but not that much younger, I'm like, man, it's taken forever to make Michael's yo-yo, because not even between you getting a prototype and them actually making it, just like you getting on the team, and like you had a colorway and stuff. But so 2013 kind of, does it go by any quicker, do you think, than 2012, or because you're getting older, you're getting better?
It all just started to become more normal.
More normal. A normalization of you traveling, like you going to all these places, you competing constantly. And like the time seems shorter and shorter between contests because you're competing. So you're trying to make a new freestyle, and as soon as you get home, you're like, I need to know what song I'm going to use in the next contest.
Yeah.
I need to, if I'm going to add a trick, I got to do it now, because I need to make sure that I'm going to be on the shit by the time I'm competing. And especially when you're young, you're trying to get all this stuff in order.
You're so like focused on it. Yeah,
absolutely. So, what's like your next significant yo-yo memory?
I mean, honestly, probably just going to nationals.
Going to nationals every year?
Yeah, like every nationals.
You like nationals more than worlds at that point? Or I guess 2013 was the last year it was in America, so 2014 it was in.
Yeah, I mean 2013 worlds was awesome. I didn't make. I've never made finals at worlds, but 2014. I guess 2014. I went to
You've
Prague.
never made finals at worlds?
No, yeah.
Wow. I didn't. I was really lazy for the research in this episode because it kind of sporadically came together. But I didn't look up your contest history. That's crazy. Because in my mind, I feel like, especially you doing so well in nationals so many years.
Yeah, I've always seen. Yeah, I've gotten top 5 at nationals a few times.
I just feel like you've never been a player to really sell out and like do something in a prelim that was going to not be something that was very Kurti just to make finals.
I appreciate you saying that.
Because I feel like
I just never could figure it out, to be honest.
Okay. Well, it's good to know. But I just felt like you kind of like knew, like, I have tricks that are good enough to make finals, and like, if it's my year, it's my year, and if it's not my year, it's not my year. So like, I don't know. Well, yeah, you couldn't figure it out, you don't think?
I mean, I didn't try very hard.
Nationals and worlds are different stages. It's like
it was like every prelims that I had to do was either nationals or worlds usually, and it was like I tried for sure, but you know, I don't know. I feel like my style is not built for prelims.
Yeah, dude, you're still killing it. I didn't bring it up for that reason at all. You're still fucking
doing it. Thanks, man.
You're gonna be killing it for years to come, I'm sure. Dude, when I saw your mom and your stepmom after nationals, and like, it was just crazy because we were like, everyone was talking about you as they walked up to us, and they're like, "Oh, Tyler, hi! Like, what's going on?" And I was like, "Yo, Kurti fucking killed it," and they're like, "Yeah, he did really well. Like, hopefully the judges think so." So, like, even they were like, "He always gets dicked." So like,
that's so funny.
Yeah, it was really fun. But I was so sure because I was like, no, he got the only standing ovation. There's no way this is going to be the year. Like, he might not win. He's definitely going to place or something. It's going to be a good year. And then, yeah. What happened? Would you get, like, 6 or 7? 8th? Damn. Well.
9th? I don't know.
Top 10 in nationals still isn't bad, especially after 6 years of finaling in nationals.
I am definitely happy with it, and also because I feel like the nationals finalists now are insane.
Oh yeah, every year it's more and more stacked.
Like everyone is just really good. So I really am happy to be like part of that.
Yeah, absolutely every year. So why do you remember nationals 2013 more than anything? Is there a reason, or you just in your brain that's like, oh, that's the one?
Oh, nationals 2013 was just like the first nationals that I got the finals at, and then I got 5th.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, so it was like, I feel like a lot of people saw
you got top 5 your first nationals too.
Making finals. Yeah.
That's like making finals. That's still really sick though. That's like prodigy level almost. You know what I mean? In a way. Seriously, it is. Yeah, in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You put in a lot of work, so like. Yeah. It evens out. And yo-yoing, that's a really great parallel where you can see your work accumulating and being like, okay, I'm getting better. Yeah, especially like you said, when you were posting as much as you were, like, you may not have watched as much when you were a kid, but as you got older, I'm sure at some point you must have looked back at your, like, first couple of videos and been like, man, look at how I yo-yo here, and look at how I yo-yo now. It might have only been 4 or 5 years, but you got so much better in that 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, so. It was definitely, like, a moment of, like, gratification.
When you got 5th in Nationals.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It was, like,
What song did you use?
It was Trippy by... It was, like, a dubstep song.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like...
Were there Juicy J samples in it? We Trippy, man. Okay.
Yeah, it was definitely some Juicy J samples in it.
So you were into the hijinks already, even then in 20... What year is this, 2013?
2013, yeah.
2013, you were down for the hijinks?
I guess so.
I hear you. You and I weren't getting into hijinks together, but...
I mean, yeah, it's just always the kind of music I've listened to.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It's a better explanation, for sure.
Yeah.
So, going into 2014, Worlds moves to Prague. Did you go to Worlds that year?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a pretty big deal. Because I was, going outside the country for the first time.
That's awesome.
For yo-yo, like, yeah, it was...
Yeah. That was something I didn't get to experience until I got on Yo-Yo Factory. And even then, it was like for... Like, I was judging other contests. It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to leisurely go to EYYC or go compete at EYYC.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Or go compete at Worlds in different countries. So you went to Worlds that year in Prague? Or That's sick.
Yeah, and got to see Gentry win.
I was going to say, yeah, Gentry won. So your like really good friend won.
Yeah, I was like, wow, like, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's sick. How did that feel?
Surprised.
You were just...
Oh, that was actually pretty motivating, I think.
Yeah,
Looking
that's awesome.
back, I remember thinking, wow, I remember like 3 years ago meeting him before.
Even when people are really...
all this.
Yeah.
But sorry, what?
No, you go ahead. So you met, when you were like, I remember meeting him 3 years ago. And...
I was just, I remember meeting him 3 years ago before he like even placed top 3 anywhere. And
that's crazy that his ascension was that fast. I never think about that.
Yeah.
That was. I just remember the year he did in final
ago.
at Worlds. And then the next year he did final at Worlds. I remember that.
Was that 2013?
2013 he did in final Worlds last year. It was in
and then he won.
Florida. And then he won the first year in Prague, yeah. And I guess it's going to... I thought I'd be back in Prague this year when I went to Europe.
I would have been down for that.
Yeah. And then you went to Nationals that year again, I'm sure, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do well or no? Probably not better, but... Because I'm sure you would have said, like, oh, when I placed 3rd the next year.
I think I got 5th, and then I got, I might have gotten 5th again. I stayed in the top 10 for sure. One year I got 7th. Another year I got 4th.
What year did you get 4th?
2016.
Damn, what were you doing then? You were just working extra hard because you had that pro model with Korbel.
Yeah, that was when I had, but that was before the Igloo was like prototyped or anything, but it was coming soon. Yeah. So
you're like, I gotta put in work to make sure this shit pops.
Yeah.
That's so dope because again, people just get pro models now, and then they're like, well, I deserve this, and it's like, to me, sponsorship puts you in position. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you're like such a perfect example of that. It's like I got on Korbel a lot. I started making more videos. I went to more contests. People get sponsored now. They do the opposite. It's like, okay, now the sponsor's gonna pro me, so I'm gonna pull back. I'm gonna make less shit. I'm gonna promote less. And it's like the people who do put out a lot of stuff, their content doesn't end up adding up to what it is because they're putting out so much. Like, it could be better if they were putting out less, but they're flooding it because they want to put out more. They don't end up making as good of shit as they could.
Yeah. No, I think it depends on the person, but like...
Absolutely.
No, that definitely...
That was a very overarching view. You're totally right. You're a better man than I am. Differentiating there and saying that it's a person-by-person basis. So, you got 5th at Nationals again that year, and...
Yeah.
You're, like, definitely at that point, we were hanging out a lot, I'm sure, yeah.
2016 at that point?
2016,
definitely.
yeah. But, like, 2014, 2015, I think we started hanging out a lot more, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I swear you had prototypes for Igloo in 2015.
No, 2015 was when I won PWR, and then I got 3rd at Cal State.
What was the first contest you won?
First contest I won was Triple Crown.
Triple Crown. What Triple Crown did you win?
The Chicago one.
Chicago 2014. Wow.
Yeah.
Was that the year? Did you beat Harold that year? No, that was the year before.
Yeah.
Okay. 2014 was the last year they did Triple Crown, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you won Triple Crown that year. That's a big dub to get in anytime, but like especially when you're, how old are you? Probably 16, 15 at that time?
I think so.
That's big for you.
Yeah.
Because, like, that was every, like, 3 or 4 years, the older group of yo-yoers get so old that they start dominating too much. And then it takes, like, 1 or 2 younger guys like that to upset the older guy. And then, like, the younger guys start coming up. So it's, like, cool to hear that, like, you were on the forefront. Like, I was one of those younger guys getting the big W's. Yeah. So you won Chicago Triple Crown, which is a god-awful contest because of the humidity. Was it in July? Outdoors?
It was actually the last one. They had it out. They had it in the mall.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, it was pretty nice.
Dude. I competed the year before that. It was still a dope contest because the girl that I was dating at the time and I went to what was it? Pitchfork. Do you know music website Pitchfork?
No.
They do a big music festival out there every year, and it was cool.
Okay.
Like, we saw Odd Future and like a ton of really cool groups and like musicians and shit. But Triple Crown was that year. It was outdoors, and it was so hot and it was so humid. Joseph Harris won. But, like, he won. He beat me by, like, 3 or 4 points, and it was still the old system.
Oh, that was, when they did the combined divisions.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And it was 3 minutes, and I just, like, gave up 2 minutes there or something and, like, barely did anything the last minute. So afterwards, I was like, fuck, I could have won if I just cared that last minute, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, every couple of years when you get better, it's harder to progress, but you get that eye-opening example and epiphany of like, okay, I need to refocus my energy and be like, no matter what, I'm going to do as well as I can. And
yeah, definitely.
So you won Triple Crown 2014, you said? 2014?
2014.
That was your first W.
Mm-hmm.
That's a huge first W to get. Were your parents there?
No.
No?
No, I was out there staying with Shane Lubeck.
Damn, you went solo dolo.
Yeah.
Did you fly out to Shane's crib?
Yeah.
You guys are a similar age, so...
Yeah.
You are? Okay.
It was all cool.
So you were staying at his parents' house.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool, okay. And then I'm sure your parents didn't matter or whatever. And
not really, but it was
really.
cool.
Yeah, it wasn't as crazy as it seems. Like,
yeah.
You could FaceTime with him or Skype with him and be like, oh, here's his parents. Like, they're real. I'm going to see a real person. Like, they're picking me up from the airport.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, my dad never really, like... he never really cared about
Dude, my parents were the same way.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, like, oh, like, my JONROB and I are going to San Francisco together and then taking a trip up to Chico, and they're like, they don't know where the hell Chico is. But it's like, they were just down there, like, alright, we'll see you, like, I'm like, I need to leave for a week, and, like, all my teachers were cool with it, because they knew, like, they were younger people, so they could watch on YouTube, like, wow, you're doing this? Like, this is crazy, like, go, like, just do the work when you come back. Like, my parents would be like, what are you doing? Like, you're gonna go to a yo-yo contest all the way there? Alright, cool, but someone else is paying for it, or you're paying for it? Great, like, I'll see you later. So,
yeah, exactly.
So you were out there solo dolo, and you won.
Yeah.
Which kind of sucks, because it's cool when your parents are there to see this stuff, but, I'm sure it was still awesome. Yeah, you didn't care, yeah, you were still psyched, that was awesome.
Right.
Yeah, that's a sick feeling, and then afterwards, like, you see yourself going up in the rankings, like, every contest it gets a little bit easier, like, even when you mess up a little bit, afterwards, you'll be like, I'm gonna get, like, 6th or 7th, and they'll be like, 2nd place, Michael Kurti, and you're like, how did this happen, yo? And it's like, oh, because I won Triple Crown 4 contests ago. Like, the judges remember that.
That was Cal State's 2015 for sure. I got 1 PNWR before that, and I think
you won.
That's probably what gave me the bump.
There you go. That's a huge contest.
Yeah, and Zach was there. Quite possibly one of my proudest achievements in yo-yo, to be honest.
Getting third. Oh, beating Zach at PNWR.
He's so good.
I'm pretty sure I was at that PNWR 2015, you said?
Yeah, 2015.
I'm almost positive I was at that PNWR. I don't think so, though. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe not. Anyway.
But yeah, that Cal State's, I messed up really badly, and they ended up giving me 3rd, and I was like,
That's
it was definitely
sick,
surprising.
Yeah.
It was definitely really surprising.
So, after Cal State's that year, what happened? You go back home, you're in school.
Yeah, I'm in school. And
What are you in 11th grade at this point?
Yeah, I think it was I did
junior year.
Yeah, that was my junior year. Yeah. Okay. It's like the end of my junior year.
Everyone's old. It's like the generation got older now, so everyone who's winning these contests and doing well
is younger.
Like, no, they're older. Like, the younger generation's starting to come up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, like maybe 2020 they'll start. The older guys also will drop off. Like they won't compete as much. So 2015, like March 2015 would have been Cal State's.
Yeah.
And then
exactly.
I definitely was there too. I think I won.
Yeah, you were judging.
5A. I was judging 1A.
I think so.
I competed a couple of random years in 1A too. I might have judged
That's
that year.
sick.
But anyway. Dude, Cal State's... Oh, that was the Cal States that we hung out with Dookie a lot, didn't we?
I didn't even know Dookie then. I think
You didn't know Dookie then?
No,
wow.
That was where I met Dookie, yeah.
2015 Cal States?
That was where I met Dookie, yeah.
Wow. Did you get that date tattooed on you? Jesus
With
Christ.
a little Dookie emoji, yeah.
A little Dookie emoji. So, after that, what was happening? Sorry, I keep interrupting.
Oh, no, it's fine. It was just Cal State's, and that was when I think Korbel Lodge kind of started to talk to me about a signature yo-yo a bit more.
Because you won a couple contests at this point.
Yeah, and like Zach was obviously killing it at the time. So he had his Arctic Circle, and I think I was using the Arctic Circle.
Okay.
And so they were like, yeah, we gotta make you and Maider some yo-yos, and that's so awesome. They started working with us on our yo-yos.
What would that have been? I mean, that's hard to count because there's a lot of like random people, like Christian, that had pro models before you guys. So it's like, I don't know, what would that have been, like a 4th or 5th pro model in Korbel Lodge that you guys would have gotten? Something like that. Might have been more because it's like Boyd, Christian, Jensen.
Peter might have had one. Yeah, Peter had the Cliff before that. Yeah.
Really? Before you? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how many, but
interesting.
Yeah.
So. Okay.
And so we were the first yo-yos that were made in China too.
That's interesting.
Our signature yo-yos.
Your signatures. How'd you feel about that?
Oh, it was totally cool.
You didn't care, yeah.
I didn't care, yeah. It was like I tried the prototype and I was like, yeah, this is
And you're
fine.
like, it's gonna be cheaper? Or like, cool.
Yeah.
So, like,
exactly.
And you're getting like the first bimetal they were making too, right?
Yep.
One of the first. Really? You had the first bimetal?
Well, Maider did because the Blizzard released first, but we both had bimetals.
Did they drop around the same time or one after another? Or?
Blizzard released like a month or two maybe beforehand.
Okay.
It was really close though.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's sweet. So mid 2015 they were like, oh, let's start designing a model. And then what'd you do the rest of 2015? How was your nationals that year?
2015 nationals, I think I think my 2015 year was pretty bad. I think I shot the bed at like every contest pretty much.
Okay.
And then at nationals I was just like, I think I had the wrong mindset honestly throughout the year.
Yeah.
And at nationals I had the mindset of like, I don't really care, like I'm just gonna have fun, and like everything just was executed perfectly, and I got 4th.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
that's a great lead into the next year of you getting a signature model or like testing one. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, that's awesome. So what year is this? 2015.
At the end of 2015. Yeah.
Okay. We went to Japan that year too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We hung out on that Japan trip. We went to dinner together that one night. You, me, Maider. Who else was there? You, me, Maider, CJ.
It's like Corey Hendon, maybe? Or was
no,
that a different
Corey
night?
was not
there. Okay, that was different.
Shout out Corey. I love you, but Corey was not there.
Okay.
Remember it pretty vividly, other than 1 or 2 people that were there. I think we might have run into them. Like Corey and Christian were coming into the restaurant as they really.
Yeah.
So that was awesome. Though. That was a great trip, Japan.
Yeah.
I took a big L that trip also. I remember you like did you do pretty well in semis, and then they didn't let you through because it was fucking Japan in a hard ass year.
I don't think I made it through prelims, man. I think I had a seed to prelims and then I didn't make it.
Yeah, dude. I didn't really practice at all for prelims. I was like, oh, it'll be easy to make, and then like I wasn't used to the new recess yo-yo.
That was the year recess was like. That was the big contest, man. Yeah.
Good times.
You probably had a lot going on then.
Yeah, I did, dude. That was the other reason. And I was like dating this brand new, like super hot girl that I was like obsessed with, and I'm like, I'm so focused on this. And, like, and recess, obviously, but not like actually yo-yoing, you know?
Right.
So after Japan, and then you go to nationals, you got 4th. Nationals was sick that year. I went to nationals that year too. It was in LA that year, right? That was the first year that
was
I
the first
helped
year
run in LA, right?
Yeah,
that's sick. You got 4th that year. Yeah, I remember you going really hard then because you were using like a lot of electronic songs.
Yeah.
And then like were you doing bun tricks then or no? No, I think that was pre-button
so.
tricks. Yeah. But you were just still going super hard and like still dense tricks, still super high risk tricks, whips, rejections, green triangles.
Yeah.
Some suicide
I
stuff.
had like that behind the back suicide catch. I don't know how I caught that.
And you were doing like the triple, quadruple 3D whip around things. Those are awesome. Like they're really stylistically like a high point for you. You know what I mean? Like you're making up more stuff, but it's like people took that and ran with it. Because I don't think Berkey was doing the like pass over to the left or right before you did it.
That's really cool.
So to think about it that way, how you influence, even if he didn't take it from you directly, it's like
there's always
you put it in the meta somewhere. That
it's hard was like, to a lot of the times like really notice like who influenced this trick, because you just when you watch so much yo-yoing, it all just kind of goes into when you play.
I'm like a keen observer on that, and even now I have to ask Colin or someone questions like that, because he really knows like this person made up this trick,
right? And
then I'll have to think. I'll be like, actually, like I know like another trick that this looks exactly like 5 years ago, and then I'll show him and he'll be like, damn, that's crazy. Most of the time he's like 100% on knowing a lot of that stuff. So dude, it's a deep cut to be able to know a lot of that shit, to be able to think about it, and then like even stuff that
there's way too much to know.
Exactly.
There's so many tricks.
You just gotta know. It's like when you're obsessed with music and you're like listening, and then you hear someone do a guitar riff and you're like, oh, this chord progression is from a old Muddy Waters song from the 50s, and you're like, what the hell are you talking about? And then you're like, listen, then you play it over top one another, and it like the wavelength will immediately match. It's just like a yo-yo trick where it's like someone else did that rejection before you, and you're like, what? And then someone shows you a 5-year-old video of someone doing that trick, and you're like, damn.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's like the same trick, but it won't be exactly the same trick. It'll be slightly newer.
Yeah. That's how things progress, though. You know. Yeah, I mean?
Exactly.
And even when people directly take it, it's like, as long as they're not claiming it for their own, or they're using it as too much of a platform. Like I remember when Evan was getting like way better in 2015, and he was jacking a lot of Kieran stuff, and like I was texting Kieran like, "Yo, you need to call Evan out about this," and he's like, what do you mean? And I'm like, he's straight up jacking your fucking tricks, like, and he's like using this as a way to like, because they're your tricks, like obviously you created this. Even like some people look at Kieran and like things he's done, maybe like Takeshi Matsura has done a little bit differently than him or whatever, but like the shit that Evan was doing at the time, Kieran was definitely doing, like late 2015, early 2016. And I would text him and tell him that, like, yo, you gotta call him out about this. Like, you don't gotta embarrass him, just like gently nudge him on social media and comment and be like, nice little trick there, 43 wink emoji. And it's like, because he's gonna know, Evan's gonna know, anyone's gonna know. They're gonna know, even if they didn't consciously do it, like, oh, that's a sick trick Kieran did. He went and learned it, you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
But then when you see people complimenting that one little thing that someone else did in their trick that you know you made up, or you know someone else made up, it's like, damn, like that's so, it's not fucked up, but it's like, it's hard on social media to read the comments about that kind of thing. Yeah. And you know that you created it, and then someone else is getting credit for it. So
no, yeah. It's like, but that's the sacrifice with yo-yo tricks.
Absolutely. And I chilled out about it as I've gotten older, and like Kieran was on the team, so I was trying to be protective of him, and it's like he wasn't getting the shine that he deserved. So I was like, yo, you need to be upfront about this and call someone out, because like it's like a rapper dissing another rapper. Like if Drake steals someone's flow, like straight up, someone's gonna call him out about that shit. Yeah. Like when he's done it, Rolling Stone has written articles about it and interviewed the artist that he's from.
It's totally a thing.
So it's the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's like, it's in yo-yoing, a lot of times it really flies under the radar.
It does. Because yo-yoers aren't the type of people to go out of their way to be like, yo, that's mine. Because if it is, it's kind of awkward, because most of the time it may or may not be, or it's debatable. But when it's clearly yours and you clearly made that up, especially with Kieran, even if it was stuff, because at the time when I would bring it up to people, they'd be like, oh, little Takeshi has a trick just like this. And I'm like, but Kieran does this thing style, it would be like a double whip version of it or something. And I'm like, Kieran added a stylistic point to it that Evan is stealing that is like a straight up jack. It's not like Kieran took Takeshi's trick and made it a little better. It's like Evan stole Takeshi's trick and then is now not claiming it immediately as his own, but he was just like putting it out there, getting thousands of views and all these comments from people that would then comment on it, be like, that double slack element is so sick. They're like, yo, Kier, you gotta call a motherfucker out about that shit. So, yeah, it does, like you said, fly right under the radar of yo-yo players.
It's important to, like, if you have a trick that's inspired by somebody, to give them some credit, I think.
Yeah,
I think
if you want
important.
to. Or especially if they call you out, to at least acknowledge, like, yeah, that's yours. Like, because it's not embarrassing. But I can't think of anyone. Like, it would be whack for you to call someone out, because, like, yo-yoing, no one's making millions of dollars. But, like...
You want it to grow, you know?
Right. It would be whack for you to, like, hate on someone for that. But, like, a gentle nudge here and there is totally acceptable. And, you know, like, even if it is a little bit snarky and you're, you know what I mean, kind of making a neg at them for some reason, like, I think that's acceptable. Like, this is a sport in some intents and purposes, you know what I mean? Like, especially creative sports, like, we're gonna... Like, when people do these tricks with each other, it's kind of like they're sparring in a way, you know what I mean? Because you're putting out a trick, it pumps someone else up to do a trick, like, everyone's feeding off one another, so when it's building into the circle, but there's this lap over, like we talked about, where if someone steals someone else's, then it's like that, especially because there's not millions of dollars involved. If everyone was getting hella money, no one would care if someone else stole their fucking trick, but it's like, because of that, you at least need that little bit of credit of like, yo, you straight up jacked that from me. Like, that's wild.
And I think it's just like an atmosphere. It's like an environment, you know? Right. Like, we just need to, like, keep that kind of environment going. Give credit to people for doing tricks.
Just keep it rolling. Give people their roses while they're alive.
Right, and at the same time,
we're all going to be 50 years old, and then everyone's going to be like, remember when this person did this crazy trick? Yeah. It's like, tell them that now. Go ahead, though, at the same time.
No, at the same time, it's like, you know, you don't want to be afraid to do tricks because you're afraid that there's somebody else's.
I don't think we're saying that. I just
think
anything
like that,
There's a point, too. Like, when you straight up jack someone or you stake something and make it better. Like, everyone who's doing the variations of, like, the Takeshi, like, under whip that goes under and then comes up and whips over top of the yo-yo as the yo-yo bounces back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The yo-yo bounces back underneath your throw hand, the slack comes underneath and whips under and catches it, right? You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I know exactly.
I can't do the trick. I can verbalize the trick. But so, everyone's taking that, but people are doing crazy variations of it. Or it's in the middle of a combo and it's not, like... That's obviously a Takeshi trick because he got second at Worlds. You know what I mean? So he doesn't have to call people out. And it's it's penetrated the meta of yo-yoing so deeply now that everyone is doing it. That, like, it's become just a regular trick. Yeah. Which is, like, a very high compliment. Like, you created a new walk the dog. You created a new boingy boing.
Yeah,
that,
definitely.
Like, all of us as a collective unit, as yo-yo players, look at when someone does that and goes, oh, that's Takeshi's trick. But no one says that. It's a
everyone knows
thing.
It's
everyone knows
trick.
Exactly.
Right. Think about like the finger spin. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
Undecided.
Whose trick is that?
I don't know, man. Polly makes some bold claims and thinks it's his, and it could be. I don't know. I love you, Polly, but I know he's perfect example of Polly. He politics for that trick because he's the one that popularized it. You know what I mean? And he knows that.
I guess so. I feel like a lot of people today don't know that though.
But then as soon as it like took off and other people started claiming like, oh, like look at this trick that this person did.
It's such a generic trick now, yeah.
Well, yeah, but at the time like people were crediting like a bunch of different people and Polly stepped up and was like, nah, this is my trick, son. And like that's dope to me, you know. That's so sick that Polly did that. I just don't know if he's the original one to do it or not. But that's sick that he did that, you know what I mean? And he was like, I'm the one that popularized this shit, and like whether or not I actually made it up, I'm gonna tell people that he made like a name for it or whatever, the tornado thing, and he was doing it for like ever, you know what I mean?
Dude, yeah, he was the first one.
He made it a stylized thing that introduced it to the meta that everyone had to do now.
Yeah.
So good for Polly. Shout out Polly. Everyone look up Polly, OG Caribou Lodge member.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
good guy.
26
Lonely yo-yo in Iceland.
No, Oscar.
He's got
Oscar's
Oscar,
there.
yeah.
So 2016 was it? We're on now. 2015 you got fourth at Nationals, right?
Yeah.
So 2016 starts. What's early 2016 like for you?
Yeah, 2016 was when 2015 was when I got the fourth. Yeah, and then I was still competing with the Arctic Circle too.
Okay.
And then the Igloo was like being prototyped. 2016 comes along, start using the Igloo, and yeah, that was the year of the Igloo, and I hit all the same contests
2016
again.
was? When did it come out?
2016. I don't remember exactly when. I think it was around springtime.
It was like May, right? Was it BAC time? Like maybe right after BAC?
It had to have been,
I swear it was like right at BAC.
I think it was right after BAC, because MAR happened that year.
Mm.
And, yeah, I remember it was releasing right around then.
MAR 2016?
Yeah.
Okay. We had it in the mall that year, right?
Yeah. King of Prussia.
Yeah. Let's crack open these Oreos.
Oh, let's do it.
Nice. I can't even make jokes like a sommelier about these Oreos. I'm just kind of hungry and excited now.
No, they look really good.
Yeah.
I've never tried a maple cream Oreo, have you?
I have not either. No, they're maple cream, yeah. So, I feel like the standard filling amount now is just double stuff, because these are it's in between, maybe.
I gotta say, yeah, it looks more than normal.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
The regular is definitely thinner. Damn, you're going right in. You're not even gonna. I'm gonna give a little. It's very granular. The seasonal fillings are very like, you can tell that they're like a specialty blend. It's not like the regular cream where it's like, this is 100-year-old recipe that we've refined and just like, throw some maple flavoring in there. There's like whole bits of sugar, like, it's really
That's
sweet.
really good.
It's good, yeah. Dude, it's so sweet.
Yeah, super sweet though.
What's the sugar breakdown on these bad boys? 6 grams of sugar per cookie.
Kind of tastes like a s'more or something.
This is a graham cracker?
Oh, is it a graham cracker?
No.
On the outside? No.
The graham cracker and the s'more. That may be what reminds you
Yeah.
of this flavoring. So, Igloo comes out. It does well, right? Does pretty well. It's the first bimetal, so people are into it. It's really expensive though, right? $170.
Think so. Yeah.
Which is interesting because the bimetals they make now are like $120, right? How much is a keto?
120, something like that. Okay. 130 maybe.
And it's not like, what was the prototype thing like for Igloo? Like, how many did you guys make?
We did one prototype.
Just one?
Yeah, I loved it.
And then you made like a couple of small changes, I'm sure, and then.
Yeah, I think the next version we did a second run of Igloos.
Second run.
That was the only changes that
happened
on it. Yeah.
Word. But I forget where I was going with that exactly. Oh, so yeah, I just know that Akita that they've done like a lot of prototyping and designing with, and then it's like still really cheap. So it's just like. Yo-yoing has changed that much where it's like you caught it at a weird time where it's like, oh, we're gonna charge $170 for your pro model because the hype and demand is this high. Right. It's like, all right, cool. Like, what did you think about that when your yo-yo came out?
Well, I mean, the only bimetal I tried, I mean, I love the Dropner. I remember when I tried the Dropner for the first time, it was kind of like the feeling when I tried the Chief for the first time. It was just like groundbreaking to me. So that's what I told Caribou Lodge. I told Chris that I wanted it to be like the Dropner.
So you kind of like wanted it to be a little more expensive, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. I was totally down with it.
Yeah,
I was like, this is a good price for a bimetal.
Yeah,
like.
And you were getting like a little bit higher of a royalty. You negotiated a little bit higher of a royalty, if I remember right, too, right? Than what they originally brought to the table.
Yeah.
Right. So after you and Chris and Steve at Caribou Lodge got the royalty worked out, and then you dropped the yo-yo, you were happy with everything, came out the way you wanted to, and the yo-yo and the release and everything, you were stoked. Because like a lot of people, I think when you're designing your first yo-yo, a lot of people have expectations this high, and then as the manufacturer, now you're learning that now probably you got to bring it back down to reality and be like, well, actually we're gonna do it like this, and then go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, definitely there was definitely a bit of that. I was like definitely expecting it to be like a bit more, I guess. I don't know what exactly it is, but...
What do you mean a bit more?
Like, I don't know. I guess it was just expecting it to be, like, ran all the time and, like, all that stuff. Yeah, but I guess that's just kind of what you learn growing up in
when you're
the
younger,
yo-yo
in your
industry.
Brain, you're looking at companies like Yo-Yo Jam and Dunkin' and Yo-Yo Factory that would keep, like, okay, Hitman's always going to be made for the most part. They're going to do a color of Hitman every season. They're going to do a color of this every season, and Yo-Yo Factory too every season. So it's like when the smaller brands started to kind of do what they were doing, it's like one drop at a time, where it's like, all right, we're going to do this yo-yo, and this yo-yo next, and this yo-yo next.
Yeah.
And if you're good enough and you place high enough and like it's high enough in demand, we'll make another run. But like, we'll see. And especially you're not thinking like, oh, bimetal's going to sell this way or that way. You're just like, well, you know, I'm getting a pro model and like they're going to do a bimetal, so like, fuck it, why not? And then quickly you realize, like, okay, this is an expensive yo-yo, and like it sells,
and I didn't
but
realize
not
how
as
much
quickly.
went into it. Like, I didn't realize how much went into sales and everything. Definitely, but like, I was definitely happy with it.
And how old were you? 18?
I was 17, 18.
17, 18. Right. So that's like a big deal for someone your age to learn.
Yeah.
Like most of the time, people your age are like selling the shit, and you're not thinking about like, how much is wholesale for this? What's the production cost?
Right.
Like, if I do 3 colors, it's gonna be $9 more yo-yo. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, you know what I mean? So you're not thinking about all these things.
And I was trying to. I was like bugging out about it. I was
like you
was trying to figure it all out.
Messaging Chris all the time. Like, I'm gonna do this and that and this and that. And then he's like, all right, well, let's try to do like this and like.
Right. It's just.
Or he's listening to you, and then at the end he's like, all right, like we gotta think about like 4 or 5 colors, and then like here's the couple Korbel Lodge colors that we do, and like.
And it's just, you know, it's that typical back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool. Like you had your, like. You had colors that were original with it, and like you definitely and like colors they've rerun since, and like so you like left your mark in its own way, and like I don't know. Have you ever thought about remaking it for Good Life at all, or
definitely
redesigning it?
That'd be really cool.
I've heard Chris like will give players the CAD for their yo-yo when they leave if they want them.
Yeah, he's always told me that. He's like,
that's
like,
so
if you
good.
want the CAD, like let me know.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I've definitely thought about it, but no official plans or anything. Yeah,
and like you wouldn't want to make it like straight up anyway, or if it was, it was like I'm doing 40 pieces of the one color I wanted to do, and that's it.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool to rework it a little bit for sure. Yeah.
It's harder when you like have a company and you're like now you have so many people on Good Life, you know what I mean? We'll get to that in a minute, but so your yo-yo comes out. They did rerun it again, right? Like a year later.
It was a little, it was less than that, but yeah, it was. I think it was after Cleveland 2016.
And what changed?
A little after that, they just kind of changed the bearing seat a little bit. I think the bearing gap got a little bit wider.
Okay.
And maybe a little bit more proportionally weighted towards the rims, I think.
With the aluminum or the steel ring?
I think it was the steel. It was like a little thicker.
Yeah, but I do remember like a significant difference in playing with it. It was subtle changes, but like significant difference.
You could tell. You could tell. Absolutely. Yeah.
When you have like a fine-tuned hand for it, you know what I mean. You never really tell. So, you come out with the second run igloo. When was this again? You said.
This was a little after Cleveland 2016.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn, so it was kind of back-to-back almost, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close for sure.
Damn, that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
And they made a lot. So, and you're competing with it the whole year, right?
Yeah. Competed with it that whole year.
And you did like a couple cooler videos. Like as you get better at yo-yoing, it's like...
Made some videos.
You don't want to just flood the market with like the most ridiculous videos of like you're doing the same shit over
You want to make sure that there's something special about
you're doing
video.
New tricks like... The one video where you actually made the igloo. Is that up on your channel?
Yeah.
So check the video out. I'll put it in the bio. You made an igloo for the promotion of the yo-yo, which was super fucking cool.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
And so what happened next? Like end of 2016, igloo did well. You're happy with it, or what were your feelings at the end of 2016 with like yo-yoing, with sponsorship? Because you're getting older, right? So you're like 18 probably, end of 2016? How was your nationals that year?
It was in 2016?
Yeah.
2016 nationals was... I think I did pretty well at 2016 nationals. I think I got 5th.
It's still great.
Yeah, no, I was really enjoying it.
And Caribou Lodge would have been happy too, and then So how did you feel though about like everything I said, yo-yoing and your pro model and your relationship with Caribou Lodge?
No, yeah, it was all great. I think everything was honestly awesome. I think the reason when I started to think about good life stuff was probably a little bit closer to 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, so you were still on Caribou Lodge from 2016 into 2017.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and like I think it was like right before Iceland Worlds, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I started to think about good life stuff, and I went to Iceland Worlds, which was awesome, and I was still on Caribou Lodge at the time, but yeah, I just started to kind of not focus on competing as much, I guess.
Yeah.
For a little bit.
Which happens as you get older and like
yeah,
when you fall out of love with, I don't want to say fall out of love with yo-yoing, but like it's the same way that you like yo-yoing a lot. You like competing when you're younger, and it's like a way to prove yourself, and you're gauging how much better you're getting every time you're competing. And
right.
It's like you just realize when you get older, like I'm not really. I like competing, but that's not the whole reason why I like yo-yoing.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I just started feeling like there's like a bigger way to contribute, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So what came up next? So you went to Worlds in Iceland. What else did you do in 20? Did you graduate in 27? You graduated in 2016?
2015.
2015. Okay.
Yeah.
So you graduated high school 2015, then 2016 we already talked about. 2017 you go to Iceland Worlds. You're still on Caribou Lodge, but they haven't made your yo-yo in like a year now, right?
Yeah.
That?
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Which is like they had made a lot of other stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were helping out, like Steve just ran Worlds, and like they were doing a lot of other things, but still like that kind of definitely contributes to how you feel about certain situations when it's like, I know y'all love me, but it's like, when's my yo-yo coming up next time?
Like, yeah, but like I don't know. At the same time, it wasn't like I was thinking about good life, so it was like.
So you didn't even care. You were kind of like on it.
I really was kind of like I don't really care anymore, which is probably not the best attitude looking back.
No, but I mean,
but
I just know a lot of people when it's easy to get so emotionally attached to like your first sponsor, like someone who really helped you out in that great amount that Caribou Lodge helped you out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they helped me out a lot.
Right. Dude. So it's like it's hard to let go of that, and you're like. Especially when you're younger and you don't necessarily go through as many crazy breakups or anything. You're like, what's my relationship going to be like with these people afterwards? What's my, in the yo-yo, like standing in the yo-yo community?
Yeah.
And you're like a confident guy, so I'm sure you didn't really think about that as much as the normal yo-yo player would. But
yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make sure I did it like in a respectful way.
Yeah. How'd you do it? Did you call him or message him or you gotta? I mean, it's hard because he's in Canada. And
I sent a message to the team group, the group chat on Facebook originally.
Is that separate? Like, is Chris and Steve in this?
Yeah, they're in it. And I was just like, I just want to say to everyone, like, I love Caribou Lodge. Like, I'm just trying to do my own thing, and like, this is just what I have to do. And they were all like, "Oh, cool, bye, Kurti. Like, we love you." Did you already
tell Chris and Steve this?
No, that was right before, it was pretty much the same time. And I
messaged them beforehand and were like, "Hey."
Yeah, it was pretty much the same time. Yeah, I messaged them.
And then right after, they were probably like, "You gotta tell the team," and you're like, "All right."
I wanted to tell the team. I really did. I just wanted to do it in a nice way and like make sure there was no hard feelings or anything.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of people do that anymore. They're just like, all right, later.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just, I wanted to try my best. It's just weird no matter what, though, so.
Yeah, and you were on Caribou Lodge for, when did you go on again? 2013?
2013, yeah.
To 2017?
Yeah.
So, 14, 15, 16, so 4 years.
Yeah, it was like
That's
4 years.
Crazy.
Yeah,
that's the amount of time it takes to graduate high school or earn a college degree. And imagine the relationships people develop in that amount of time, so.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you quit, and then were you already pretty in with good life shit as far as the designing and how you wanted everything to look? Or were you just like, I need to quit Caribou Lodge so I can focus on this and do my own thing? Or like, were you like, you knew a lot of stuff going into this? Or what was the next steps after that, after you quit?
Well, I was trying to prototype some yo-yos when I was on Caribou Lodge, and none of the designs were like super successful. Like they were definitely having some problems, and so I just like kept trying different yo-yos, and then I don't know, I just decided one day that like I got a yo-yo that worked pretty well, and I brought it to some contest and had some feedback on it and stuff.
People were hyped on it.
Yeah, and it was a goalie prototype. Man, we should have. It's right there.
That's awesome. It's over here. I'll go grab it.
Yeah.
But you can tell when some people are being like homey positive about it and like, oh, this is dope. Like you're gonna do a yo-yo, sick. Versus like when they really like it. So like, what was people's like when you let them play with it? Like, what was their thoughts on it when you had it?
I mean, honestly, like, I think it's a pretty boring yo-yo. It's probably the one on the right. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
They're both.
Never seen this before.
Yeah, they're both prototypes though.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I remember Chandler tried it at Worlds 2017 in Iceland, and he was like, "Oh yeah, this is a good yo-yo." It definitely needed some work, but
oh wow,
you could tell like
the ring is super thin.
Yeah.
You designed this, or?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Oh, thanks.
And then obviously like just a little bit of changes that they just like literally interpret the CAD that you sent them, and that's why it's so sharp, or?
I just made the CAD that sharp. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you send in most factories something like this, they'd be like, this is gonna be really sharp, right? Can we chamfer it like around the edge a little bit? And you'd be like, yeah, go for it. Like, but this is obviously significantly better. And wow, it's so cool to see. Well, maybe I'll like take some pictures of it or something. This is interesting. So it's a little bit bigger, just by like a hair. I mean, probably just what
the rim was put different spot a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I'm glad that you did what you did with it, because it's definitely like a very great finite tuning of it. Like it's perfect. You know what I mean? Like this looks like a great design, and this is like
looks fun.
Like good. Yeah, it looks fun. Like this is a good prototype. Like maybe you could change a couple of things, and like this one really hits. But it doesn't matter, because people would have looked at this and been like, all right, cool. Like I'll just release it, and then you're like, I want to like change it a little bit and make it better.
Definitely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and like I just. At some point I just was like, I gotta quit Caribou Lodge if I want to do this, and it was just kind of like a random day, honestly.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't really like have much force. I'm like, I know you've been thinking about it, so it builds up in your brain. But you just picked a day, kind of, or you woke up one day and were like, I'm just gonna do it today.
Pretty much, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
I was just thinking about it for a while. Yeah.
That's awesome though that you just did it. I don't know, because it's like such a hard thing for a lot of people to really bite that bullet. So it's cool that you actually were a little more.
You too, man.
Doing it. Huh?
You too.
But I mean, mine was like planned. Like I knew, because it's my birthday when I quit Yo-Yo Factory and launched Recess the same time. Like as soon as I sent, Ben knew. Like Ben found out somehow, and he didn't tell me he knew, or he claims he knew anyway. I don't know. I'm sure he knew that I was starting a brand somehow through someone. I mean, I don't know why he didn't kick me off at that point then, but he let me stay on until I quit, and then like sent him an email in like the morning, and then like an hour later like launched the Instagram, and then announced it on my Instagram and Facebook, and like, if it's my birthday, everyone's gonna come wish me a happy birthday. So then I got this post that's getting a ton of love, and it's gonna be the first thing everyone sees, and they wish me a happy birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, so I like did pretty well. I was like pretty opportunistic about it. I made sure that it was planned to a T, and it wasn't just like some random like, let me see if this hits or not. It's like, nah, this has gotta fucking work, or I'm gonna look like such a herb. So that's tight though. But I definitely value when people are just so sure of what they're gonna do that they can make a move that way, because I am not that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard, like, but I was like...
I'm not saying it wasn't hard. I'm sure it was super difficult, like, emotionally, but it was something you thought about for a long time.
Exactly.
When did you actually quit? Do you remember? Like, month. Just give me a month.
It was probably in December, something like that.
Okay. And then, but you had been at Worlds in August, and then you had this, so like, you kind of knew, like, okay, I'm gonna do something, but I don't know. Right. And then you had played with this, and you're like, this is good enough that I can adjust things and make it better, and then do my own brand. Yeah, and I remember, when I quit, I was like, all right, like, I really got to get these yo-yos made, and like, this is it. This is real now. Yeah, I was like, man, we're in it. Here's some of the yo-yos right here on top of the GameCube. With a Mad Catz memory card. Is this what this is? Yeah. Oh, okay. The Mad Catz logo is so great. It's a good logo. It's iconic. Yeah. So whoever flips that next in yo-yoing, I'll know that you stole that idea from me. So what do we have here? This is a gully, right? Yeah. The gully is the bimetal, and the gulch is the. What is a gulch and a gully? I have no idea.
They're just like
bodies of water.
Bodies of water. Yeah. Essentially, it's water-worn rock with water going through it. And a gulch.
That's what a gully is.
Yeah. Then I think a gulch is like a smaller gully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it may make sense. It's bimetal, the regular one.
Yeah.
The monometal, the bimetal. No, these are awesome, man. Is there a reason stylistically that you only did the laser engraving on the one side of the gully, or?
I mean, I just appreciate the non-engraving. Like,
so
I don't know.
You wanted one of each. You were like,
yeah,
with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Word. And this colorway is like really sick. Like, people normally when they do fades, like 2-color fades are a little bit easier to do a nice, I don't want to say
nice and clean,
an iconic colorway,
right.
like a clean colorway because of the contrast. But when you do 3, people don't really understand color theory enough to meld 3 colors together in a tasteful way or make it look great. Right. And you've done this one, and you did there's like an orange, green, and salmon one.
Yeah,
that one's really cool. So like, what is the inspiration for a lot of these? Because like, you know, the yo-yos are really awesome, and like, it's cool to see you kind of carrying on the tradition of making like really well-known iconic colorways from Caribou Lodge. Like, even though that's probably not what you're thinking when you're designing them, like, oh, I gotta kill it, just like when I was on Caribou. It's just like you're making a cool colorway, but being on Caribou Lodge, that instilled that in your brain, like,
probably.
Oh, this is so important. How
I mean, I loved Caribou Lodge before I even was sponsored by them too. So,
so
like,
you were a fan,
definitely.
And then, So like, what inspired some of these colorways, like this one specifically? Because even the blue, it's not a blue ring. It's like tempered at like multiple temperatures. So like, it's purple to blue. It like kind of fades in and out.
I mean, I just honestly think about penny boards. Like, I look at the penny board colorways a lot.
Okay.
I think they're really cool, and I just think about like pastel like colors,
inspiration boards that are like all the different the ads and stuff.
Yeah, they have like
catalogs.
They have triple fades and stuff. Sometimes
the penny boards do.
Yeah. Sometimes
there like 3 different injection points for the plastic, and then
I don't think so. No.
Huh.
I don't.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's really cool. This one looks really interesting, and it's hard because like purple and pink, like yo-yoers don't really give or take when it comes to feminine colors. Like, they don't really think like, oh, pink is a feminine color.
No, yeah,
but like,
love these colors.
But this is not, to me, just like in the general public perception, would be a very feminine color, because it's like such like, even the yellow is like, that's what a lot of people decorate like their kids' rooms with before they're born, because they don't know what gender it's gonna be. So it's like just a very like it leans heavily to one side. Like, it's not like, I don't know, a masculine color, I guess you would say.
No, it's definitely like that.
But it doesn't look that way to me.
It's that unicorn effect or something.
Exactly,
Yeah.
But I look at this and I'm like, it's just so aesthetically pleasing that it's not, I don't even think feminine to begin with. I'm just like, that just is a beautiful fucking yo-yo, you know what I mean? It's not like, oh, it's like really pink, or like anytime that I hit up some stores and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this first base and it's pink with this glitter in it, and then I'm gonna do a purple one too, and they're like, pink and purple, the same run. Like, I don't know, man. Like, but it's like, you fucking did it right here, and it's like, this is probably one of the first colors to sell out of this run, right?
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, it's just all about how you flip it and what the perception is and what you're doing with it. So that's awesome. And then what was the other colorway? I think it was a gulch colorway. Was the tri-fade? Right?
Yeah, it was like the tropical sunset one.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the inspiration for that?
I don't know. It was like a beach
More
scene or something like that.
Yeah.
I think I was thinking about like a beach scene. Yeah.
Were you into beaches at the time, or like? I mean, beaches are cool.
I'm just trying to think of stuff that makes you feel good.
Yeah. Is that constantly something you're on the lookout for? Is inspiration for new colors?
Definitely. Like,
other than like the penny boards and stuff like that, what kind of stuff do you like to get inspiration from for colorways?
You know, like even little stuff. Like, you'll see like
what?
a picture of like a cherry pie or something in a magazine, and you're like, oh wow,
the
like
contrast between like the cherry and the crust or something,
right? And you're like, wow, brown and like a light red, like a nice fade, like
yeah, man,
that could be cool, you know.
Brown's a hard color, so it's
right.
like you're always looking for ways to incorporate brown. So
right.
me too, I do the same thing, dude.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then, so these are two yo-yos you already did. And then you guys have done some apparel, which you're wearing, which is awesome. You can get, we'll put links in the description that you guys can check out where to buy Good Life yo-yos. Also available on the Good Life website. What's the URL for Good Life?
GoodLifeYoYos.com.
GoodLifeYoYos.com.
Yeah.
And then, so you started Good Life, immediately launched with Chandler, right?
Pretty much,
Chandler Steele was on the team immediately, right? I thought you like announced and Chandler was on the team, yeah or no?
It was like literally less than a week, I think. Okay. We were talking about it and everything.
And then as soon as you launched, and then he saw people were into it, he's like, all right, cool, I'm down.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you said Stex was soon afterwards also?
Yeah, it was Chandler and Stex were both. I was talking to both of them beforehand. So they were pretty much already like down for it.
Yeah.
And then I released everything and they were like, all right, like let's do it.
It looked official. You had good boxes with like good branding on it, like a sticker looked good on it. Do you have one over there you can pull over?
Sticker?
No, the box.
Yes, we got the
okay,
trout box here.
Trout box. This has a yo-yo in it too. But I like that this is different.
Box. You like? What do you mean? Like it's bigger?
Yeah, it's different than the average yo-yo box. So like it stands out. And like when you were posting about it, I remember like you posted a video of like the sticker being in the box. And it's like, wow, that's cool. Like it's like a secret pocket like in the tongue of like a shoe or something, you know? So it's like just a cool little thing that sets it apart from other yo-yos that like when you come out, people see that and they're like, wow, like you put a little extra thought in this. Like I'm definitely subscribing, and every new thing he comes out with, there's gonna be something extra thought into it that I'm gonna like, so I'm gonna pay attention from now on. Like all the little shit adds up, you know what I mean? So,
yeah.
And this is the Troutwine version, the Luke Troutwine version of the Gulch. Did he compete with the Gulch at Worlds?
No, he competed with the Breeze.
Breeze, okay, that's the other I'll make. I forget about that one.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I like the packaging a lot. It was cool. Like, and it's one of those things that when yo-yo players are telling you, like, oh, I'm going to start a company, it's hard to gauge how serious they're going to take it. And especially, like, did you send them photos of stuff as it was getting done? Like, here's the box and here's the yo-yo and, like, anything like that, yeah? And then, but once it launched and everyone was, like, super psyched, they both were like, all right, cool, I'm down.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yo-Yo Factory's a hard sponsor to leave, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A sweet setup over there. So.
Oh, in that aspect, yeah.
Yeah, like
especially back then, yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to leave. So it's like when someone's like, "Yo, come quit for my brand," it's like, I mean, maybe like I'll see about it.
Right. Yeah.
It's not like it is now, where pretty much everyone's equal, and it's like, all right, no one's getting shit, but like, I'll give you a little more, and I'm fun, and it's like, all right, cool, like I'm down with that, like. So. Back here underneath this gully box, we have a couple of prototypes. You want to talk about these real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I'm talk about this one first.
Yeah, this
one's
one's
going to come out first. Right?
Yeah, this one's coming out first. This is the Mantra. Michael Stex's yo-yo prototype. 6061. It's going to be our first, pretty much our most organic shape we've ever done.
But still a nice little V inspiration, though. So it's still, like, good for competition use, but like you can throw occasionally too.
And you know what's cool is it's like 64.7 grams. It plays way floatier.
Like, it feels heavier.
Right.
Like just holding it, I was like, damn, this is kind of like a heavy yo-yo. And like I feel like I played with a prototype at Worlds, and I was like,
it plays floaty, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like on the floatier side. Yeah.
No, that's good.
I think that's my favorite thing about it is like how the weight distribution is. Yeah.
And it's called the Mantra, right?
The Mantra.
It's like pretty square, not in a bad way, but like it's wide. It's good for competition. It's like
organic, but it's not like the organic, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's got like a comfortable. I think organic just kind of denotes that it's going to be comfortable in your hand. Like I would argue that almost all of your yo-yos other than this are organic.
Yeah, this is like the opposite of organic.
Yeah, the Breeze is like organic influence, but it's not like a strict like round shape. This is pretty freaking round, like.
Yeah.
So this is called the Mantra. Do you want to talk about this yo-yo yet? Or you don't have to if you don't want to. I know what it is, and I think it's good. But you don't have to divulge too many details.
Oh, I don't care.
We can just talk about it. Cause
it's for C-Rod.
It's for C-Rod, Chris Rodriguez, okay?
Yeah, and it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. You don't have a name yet?
It's the Valley.
The Valley?
Yes.
Oh, that's a good name.
It is the Valley.
Are you going to spell Valley in a weird way, like Mike Vallely's last name? You know, the skateboarder Mike Vallely?
I don't. But I haven't thought about it.
You haven't thought about how it's going to be spelled yet?
No, I mean, we've just been spelling it like regular Valley, but...
Yeah. That's cool. So you got prototypes for everyone on the squad. What's up with Chandler? Is he gonna come out with a new yo-yo soon? Or?
No new yo-yos
Not
for him.
New
no,
yo-yo. But what's that?
Yeah. No new yo-yos for Chandler. No.
No new yo-yo for Chandler.
No, we're definitely
done, son.
We're definitely gonna be. We've got to be working on some new Breeze stuff soon.
Okay, that's awesome.
We're trying to like change the design up a little bit.
Yeah, what did you get at Worlds this year?
13th.
Still sick. Yeah. He did awesome.
Yeah, no,
it's hard now, and like everyone places so close together, and it's like, well, shit. If he would have did one more trick, he would have gotten 5th. So like, it's hard to say you really got 13th, even though he did. Like
literally, and it's like he was trying something new too, which was awesome.
Yeah, that's the other. When I first heard his song, like it was a great song, but I was just like, oh man, like this is what he did. He
use some Nav in the Lucy Bird, yeah.
I love that song so much.
Yeah, man. I think he was Wanted You.
Yeah, dude, I love that song.
I loved it.
But it's hard to use a song like that at Worlds, like you said.
Definitely.
It fit his style and everything, but it would have been great as like an MWR song or something, where it's like, all right, this is probably gonna be an easy dub for him, so like you can use whatever the fuck you want. But it's like, at Worlds, it's hard. But like again, he took a creative risk and like,
and it's like it's part of it's why it's a risk. Yeah.
But his core fans are gonna look at that and be like, that's why we fuck with him.
Exactly.
Like, that's so tight, and all of us loved it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So yeah, man. After Chandler at Worlds this year and all the other legendary stuff your team's been doing and the sick colors and everything, what is the next thing for Good Life, you think? Because you guys have been around for like 2 years now, right?
Coming up on it, yeah.
Coming up on 2 years. When did you guys launch officially?
It was like end of January in 2018.
2018. So very fresh. Never mind. So it's just basically still a newborn.
Yeah.
1.5 years, basically.
Yeah.
But y'all done a lot in a year and a half, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A lot.
It's kind of surprising in some ways, but yeah.
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 Legendary colorways, legendary yo-yos, legendary freestyles. Virginia States for you. We'll put all this in the bio. Virginia States earlier this year for you. Very legendary freestyle, I feel like.
Thanks, man. Yeah,
deep cut one. Yeah. Legendary yo-yos. What else? Added Chris to the team. Added Stex to the team. Stex and Chandler got on relatively the same time, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty much, yeah.
But Stex has a yo-yo coming out, which is awesome. Mantra, and then the Valley, which is C-Rod's yo-yo. Chris Rodriguez. Interesting little bimetal placement here.
Oh yeah,
on the inner ring here. That's most people want that to be like super visible on a bimetal, so it's interesting. You're like, I'm gonna tuck it in back here.
Yeah, and I also feel like bimetals are always like full size competition.
Oh yeah, this is not that. This is tiny. This is basically What is this, like 53 and some change millimeters in diameter?
So yeah, it's small.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man, you're killing it. I'm sure you're gonna keep killing it. So you got these 2 yo-yos coming out, and then what else were you talking about?
We're working on a yo-yo for Luke as well.
The yo-yo for Luke? That's right, I forgot about that. Oh my gosh. I keep, like, in my brain, I'm like, there's another person on the team. Who's the other person? It's somebody that I'm very close with, Luke Troutwine. Yeah. So, okay, Luke Troutwine's yo-yo's coming out. Do you know the name of that yet?
We don't know the name yet, no.
Okay. You can't call it the Trout. Don't call it the Trout.
We're thinking in the Trout, in that direction.
Call it the fish stick.
Fish stick. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to think of something in that direction, but
dude, fish stick would be sick because he doesn't even know the fish dick joke from South Park. You know what I mean? So you could just spring it on him, and he'd be like, "Cool, I like fish sticks, whatever. I don't care." And you're like, "All right, sick."
Oh my gosh.
Who we're hanging out with? That's a big fisherman, and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna art direct the colorways for Luke's yo-yo from all these fishes." Who was that? Do you remember at Worlds?
I don't.
Was it
Honestly, who?
Gecko? Was he saying it? I forget who it was.
Probably could see it. I don't know.
Awesome.
Yeah, Luke's dad is always like, yeah, we can get different colorways for the different types of trout, like rainbow trout.
You gotta do at least one, maybe.
Like, yeah, that's kind of a cool idea.
One trout colorway.
Yeah.
Especially, like, because all your yo-yos are bead blasted, but, like, just do one colorway that's shiny finish at the very end, so, like, it's super reflective like a fish is.
That would be the official trout color.
Exactly, right. Just do one. People will love it. That's it. All right, man. It's been awesome killing this bottle of champagne with you. Finest from Flemington, New Jersey, a bottle of Korbel. Yeah, we cleared this bottle of champagne. We ate some Oreos. We talked about Andre Boulay, the lovely Mr. Boulay. I love Andre and his family. You gotta shout out Andre.
Absolutely. Andre does so much for Yo-Yo.
Yeah.
It's awesome. He really does.
That's why I said it in such a serious tone. Yeah, because it's literally like insurmountable things and countless things you can talk about.
So big shout out Andre. Yeah.
Where can everyone follow you at? Instagram, Michael Kurti, right?
Instagram, Michael Kurti.
YouTube.
Good Life YoYos.
Good Life YoYos.
Yeah.
Sweet. Is that where you post a lot of stuff now?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Pretty much.
And then Luke Troutwine is also very active.
Yeah.
Follow him. Follow everything Good Life on Instagram.
Little Trout.
Make sure you look out for the new Good Life yo-yos. And they're available in most stores, right? Are you guys in YoTrix? You guys have a yo-yo in YoTrix, right?
Yeah.
Breeze, I think
like YoTrix might be the only place left with a few breezes. Yeah.
Wow, there you go. So if you want a breeze, check out YoTrix, and then they can order more from Kurti, and he can get to some more contests. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we leave? Anyone you want to thank? We covered a lot of important people during the podcast. So like you said,
we got the important people in
for sure. Awesome. Well, thank everyone so much. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching again the second episode of The Goods. The response has been super awesome from everyone so far, and it really encourages me to continue making more. So they're coming. Can't wait to show you guys more. Leave some comments down below for other yo-yo players I should interview, and I'll try to arrange those. It's hard to get around and see people. Kurti lives pretty close by, about an hour away, so I was able to just zoom up here and be like, let's film an interview real quick. But,
let's do it again sometime.
Yeah, we will. But in the future, for other yo-yo players, I mean, so I can try to think about who to film when I go to contests and stuff like that. Check out all the links below for everything Good Life, all the videos and stuff we mentioned during the podcast, webisode, whatever you want to call it. I'll try to put in the description, but we talked a lot about a lot of stuff, so I don't know. It might be hard for me to put every single link in there, but thanks again, everyone, for watching, and I will see you next time.
Peace.
Like, is there any way you want to say goodbye here?